else watching this on their car's infotainment system and drinking a beer. I wish.
Oh, well, that's a great message to start the stream with. Thanks, Ben.
I didn't know that was on yet. Oh my god.
Yeah, hope everyone else is also enjoying refreshing drinks. This is the Ocarina of Time 3D All Dungeons Low Pause LOTAD made by Ben Stevens 56. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good. I'm just in my car watching this on my infotainment center, drinking water.
Ah, yes, water.
Yeah. So I made this. I had a cool idea, and I just had to do it. So here we are.
All right, and for commentary today, we also have some other very cool people. Game Stabled, Photon, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Game Stable. Glad to be here.
I'm Photon. I've never played a Zelda game in my life.
Oh, well, perfect.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Outsider perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly a worthless speedrun anyway, so not really a whole lot to say. Honestly, let's just sit here in silence for the next, how long it
Whoa, you
takes.
can't say how long it is.
I was about to. I'm not. No spoilers. But yeah, this is a low pause all dungeons, so we'll get into exactly what that means. But I will just say that there will be plenty of time to reveal all that information.
All right. So we all good to start up. We're gonna dot ready in the
Yeah.
SRL chat.
Yeah, dot file name. Ooh.
All right. We will begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. So we're doing Ocarina of Time 3D, and this is again, it's all dungeons, and we're gonna try to pause the minimum amount of times possible. So someone already asked, what's a LOTAD? So basically, if you're familiar with what a TAS is, it's a tool-assisted speedrun. So essentially, playing the game with slowdown tools, save states, rewind, stuff like that, to basically try to create like a perfect speedrun. Okay, so you might spend hours trying to optimize seconds, but since none of it's in real time, it's chill. Now this is low optimization, and I do want to stress this is relatively low optimization. I kind of just wanted to show off a really, really cool route that has some extremely difficult things in it that I don't think I would expect a human to be able to do in real time. So you're going to see some really cool optimized segments, and there's also going to be some segments that are a little slower, so please forgive me.
And I'm already noticing something very unusual for OoT3D.
Yeah. So definitely referring to the text on the screen here. I'll explain why that is, but for the most part, there aren't a ton of version differences in this version of Ocarina of Time. Generally, the fastest version is just whichever one has the least amount of text boxes, which they're all pretty similar. But I'm actually playing on the Taiwanese or Hong Kong version of the game, which was actually released like a year later when it was imported to that region of the world. And there are actually a couple of version differences that we're going to get into.
Yeah, so this is gonna...
But we won't get into that for a long time.
Yeah. For those who might be familiar with Ocarina of Time 3D speedruns already, you might know that one of the most important items, or not items, one of the most important glitches, restricted items, does require pausing. So we might not be seeing a whole lot of that in this run, I assume.
Yeah.
I have not seen this run.
So another really cool thing about this game is all of the text is a lot faster than the N64 version. That is actually a weird little glitch where there's a frame at the beginning of each text box where if you hit the B button perfectly, the text will scroll like really, really fast. So that is really hard to do in real time. but in a task setting, it's pretty trivial. So we can scroll through the text really fast, which is awesome. So part of what made this whole thing possible was a new tool made by Exodus in the OT community that allows us to kind of pinpoint and understand better how this thing called invisible seams works. And I'm talking about this right now because we're going to see our first one right here.
Whee!
That probably looked a little goofy. But basically, there are these weird little bumps of collision all over the place, where Game Stable or Jim, can you explain this? You guys have better words for this.
So basically, whenever Link is standing on polygons in this game, there's a little bit of leniency around the edges and around the vertices of the polygons. And that's intentional, so that Link doesn't just immediately fall off the edge when it would seem unfair, like, oh, I was close enough to the edge, why did I fall off? That leniency applies even with very steep inclines. Very steep polygons that aren't technically quite vertical, that you can still stand on as floors, still have that same leniency. And since they're so steep, the actual vertical displacement in that range of leniency can be a huge amount of vertical displacement. And compared to the N64 version of Ocarina of Time, you can stand in Ocarina of Time 3D on much steeper collision. They actually made it so that polygons can be 100 times steeper and still be considered standable collision floors. That means that the invisible seams are way more common in this game, and the new ones that exist are much, much taller.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot of really tall invisible seams in this run, where basically it looks like it's like L to levitate, but it's not. There's only really specific places where you can do it, but they are all over the place, so there's a ton of them in this run. We're going to see more of it. So escaping the forest right there, an extremely fast way to do that. That's not a common way to escape the forest, because generally it's really good to have a sword, but because I'm trying to not pause basically at all, or unless completely necessary, I'm going to be skipping the Kokiri sword for now. Also, across Hyrule Field, I did what's known as a forward extended super slide. Basically, if you hold an angle or a position on your control stick called ESS, you can kind of maintain your velocity after you get hit, like recoil from damage or something else. So basically, when you get hit by an enemy, you get pushed really, really fast for a couple of frames, and you can kind of keep that momentum going as you move across the overworld. That owl text right there is a way to skip it, but it requires having some items equipped, which obviously I'm trying to avoid. So yeah. Also, this invisible, that's not an invisible seam, that's just a normal seam. That is really steep, and it's quite hard to walk up in this version. But you can do it.
Yeah, I've tried to walk up that one like RTA a few times, and I've never gotten it at all.
Even passing it, it's really difficult. So from this little bit of collision right here, you can actually fall in this out of bounds water. So water in this game extends all the way to the bottom of the map. So as long as there's water, if you can get underneath it, you can float up. Now, a strange little difference on the N64 version, this tiny bit of water right here by this crawl space is not actually water. It's just a texture. But in this game, they changed it to actually be water to be more realistic, I guess. And because of that, you can float right up to this crawl space. Now, on N64, that's not possible. And I know a lot of people have probably been watching like ZFG do his low percent MST stuff recently. Part of the reason why that route sucks so bad is you need to go out of your way to get Hammer as Child to get up to that crawl space. Whereas here, we can just do it itemless and pauseless, and it's very nice.
Nice cards.
Yeah,
Nice frame perfect side hops.
Also shout outs to Cajun. I believe Cajun was the one who kind of initially started looking into some of the invisible seam stuff and calculating kind of how they worked mathematically. So Exodus tool uses a lot of the same math and assumptions. So that's sick.
Yeah, also, one interesting difference between Ocarina of Time 3D and the N64 version is that when you get the Ocarina in this game, it goes onto a dedicated button on the touchscreen. So, for the purposes of this category, then does not have to pause at all to ever use the Ocarina, which I assume probably helps with not having to pause.
That is goated. Yeah, being able to use the ocarina without pausing. So, so let's get into some differences here when it comes to low pause stuff. So, there's two, or probably three, really big differences that hit me right off the bat, and that is we always have access to the ocarina without pausing because it has its own dedicated button. So that's really, really nice. Oh, that was not you? Who did that? I'm sorry. So I forget. I looked at it. I thought it was you. Okay, my bad. And then I'll give credit to Linecast. So that's the first one. Ocarina is really good. The second one is that instead of being able to equip 3 items on the C buttons on Ocarina of Time, you can equip 4 items because you have that extra item slot. So you have the 1 button, the XY button, and the 2 button. So that's really, really nice. And then the last thing with really major implications is that in Ocarina of Time, when you pull the Master Sword to become an adult, it automatically equips some items to your C buttons. That is not the case in this version. You don't get any free equips except for the Ocarina. So every item that I want to use, I'm going to have to pause to equip it.
There is a fourth difference in that in 3D, pausing to equip items or change your gear is not the same pause menu that lets you pause to save the game.
True. Forgot
and both
about
of
that.
those things count as pauses for the purposes of low pause.
Exactly. Yes. So, what is considered a pause, I guess. So, the 2 main things are pressing any of the touchscreen buttons on the bottom screen to pull up the item menu, the map, or the gear menu. Item is where you equip things like bomb, slingshot, basically things that go on your equipable buttons. And then the gear menu is the other important one. That's where you equip shields, tunics, swords, etc. And then the other method of pausing is hitting the start button to save and quit. So I'm not going to be able to, like on N64, equip items and then do like a save warp or something like that. That won't be possible.
Oh, there's a fifth difference actually. The mentioning with gear, equipping swords, shields, and tunics. In 3D, that does not include boots because boots are equipable items. So
correct.
That's right, yeah.
If we do, and I have not seen the run, so I do not know, but theoretically, if we were to get hover boots, we would only have to spend 1 pause to equip them, but then we could take them on and off as many times as needed. As an example, I have not seen the run, so not trying to spoil anything.
Yeah, I will not spoil if that is relevant or not.
So this is interesting. This is not the way runs normally go.
Yes. So we are kind of going out of our way here. Generally, a really typical run of Ocarina of Time 3D would go get Zelda's Lullaby, and then probably go get Magic on Death Mountain Trail, and then go get Farore's Wind, because Farore's Wind is really powerful and very broken. But the only reason why Farore's Wind is very powerful and very broken is the restricted items glitch, which allows you to use Farore's Wind essentially anywhere, but it requires pausing. So, spoilers, you're not going to see a whole lot of that. So Farore's Wind is not a great item. And also, a very important thing, I talked about version differences with
is restricted items patched in this version anyways?
It is, yes. The restricted items glitch is patched on version 1.1, the Taiwanese version of the game. And also there's a Korean version of the game that has those same patches. So that glitch doesn't even work in this version, which is fine, because once again, it wouldn't be something I could use. So right here, there is a little seam of collision you can walk up, and using a cucko, I can just kind of fly across the gap in Gerudo Valley. That lets me get into Gerudo Fortress without needing to equip any items or do any pausing. So that's very useful.
Nice.
Very, very old trick for this game.
Yeah, we've been doing that for like 11 years or something now. It's really hard. It's really annoying to do in real time.
Honestly, shout outs to not having a way to cross the sand river as child RTA at least, because
Yeah.
then we don't have to worry about doing that Taco Simwa.
There's a second way to get across the Gerudo Valley without pausing, actually. You can, there's an invisible seam at the bottom that you can climb up.
Nice.
Okay, and so right there,
nice
there's a
gate
little
skip.
there's a little chunk of collision that you can't see to the side, but if you side hop at just the right angle, you can kind of side hop around that gate, which is nice. So what I'm doing right here is called an L slide. If you have some amount of speed and then you alternate pressing L every other frame, you kind of maintain your speed in a weird way, and it lets you cross the quicksand right there. That's the only known way of doing that without any items as child. So there's a really easy way to skip that quicksand in N64 where you kind of just backwalk up the side of it. That does not work in this version. So the only way to cross that is basically TAS only, because you need to hit the L button 15 times every second. Perfectly.
Here's
And if you
another
miss any of
difference.
the inputs, yeah.
Is another different difference between N64 is that that's an L slide and not a Z slide.
Oh yeah. True. True. Yeah, because on N64 you'd hit the Z button, but L is your targeting button in this version. So I'm making my way to the Desert Colossus and doing a couple of cheeky super slides here to save some time on movement.
Yeah, and these forward extended super slides on N64 they don't go as fast, and I believe if I'm right, that's due to the increased FPS between Ocarina of Time 3D and N64, since Ocarina of Time 3D runs at 30 FPS versus the N64's 20 FPS.
I believe that's true. So basically, you move a little faster per frame for some things that weren't converted properly. So I think you move like 1.5 times faster, basically.
Rare case of the higher FPS actually being a good thing and not a bad thing.
Yeah.
There's a couple examples of it being a good thing, but there was also
There's
a lot of
many examples of it being a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
One that's very notable is the fact that item drops. So if you like, break a patch of grass and like a bomb drop comes out of it, that bomb drop will disappear 1.5 times faster. That has some really shitty implications that we hate. But there's a lot of stuff like that. Okay, so right here, I'm getting the Requiem of Spirit. I believe that without doing a ton of glitches, this is the most accessible warp song to get as child, and that's important.
Oh no, Ben, you died.
I did die. Desync? Question mark? Bad run?
But conveniently,
Hey,
that
you were
allows
able to save and quit
warp
without pausing.
Without pausing, yeah.
Exactly, yes. So we can save and quit without pausing right there, which is very useful. So I can do a save warp. I just need to die to be able to do it.
But next it looks like we're going to the Lost Woods. We're gonna go get Saria's
going
song,
to the
right?
Lost Woods. Yeah, we could get Saria's song if we wanted to. That's not where I'm going. So
Oh.
spoilers.
Dang.
So once again, there are ways to skip these owls, but all of them require some amount of items, which we don't have currently really any of.
But what do we have are more invisible seams.
More invisible seams. They're just everywhere. They're more common at like corners of collision like that. There's a ton of them like hanging out on corners. So that's a very useful one because it's another method of being able to get out of the Kokiri forest without doing any pauses or equipping any items. It is really incredible how much stuff you can do in this game without ever pausing. I went through and made a little list, and it's pretty impressive how much you can do. However, being able to like beat all of the dungeons, there's just so much requirements that are needed to be able to do it. So you definitely. I won't spoil anything. Okay, so we're in Zora's Domain. What could we be doing here?
Seems like we might be getting the silver scale by the looks of it, which is an item that you can use without pausing, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so getting a lot of items that we can use without pausing is very nice.
Oh. For a second, I thought you were going to do it.
No, I'm not
It
going to
was really
do it.
close.
Hey, don't forget to actually get the silver scale. Don't just play the game
like...
and then splice in getting the silver scale. If you know, you know.
When did that happen?
Wasn't there an old OoT task that did that?
Probably. That sounds right. Okay, so we just got some Deku sticks and we got some Deku nuts. So obviously we're going to be using those later, or else I would not be getting them.
Does home buffering count as pausing? I'm not sure, but it's a task.
I would say
so we're not going to be home buffering.
Yeah, there won't be any home buffering. I would probably argue no, because it doesn't actually like interact with the game in any way. Like,
yeah,
it's completely like disconnected from like the processes of the game.
Doesn't it?
And no,
there's some
it
weird
be
home
real.
buffering thing in Majora's Mask 3D. Oh, it could crash the game. That's the. I guess you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. Hey, fastest crash, you know.
That would be fastest crash. In theory. I don't know if it ever turned out to be true, but someone was doing some research on that, and it was extremely scuffed. And they were like, "I played in my garage in 30-degree weather, and I didn't crash as often, so
because of the
really
cold
good thermal issue."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just got Rito's letter, but we did not show it to King Zora.
Exactly. That's gonna be important. I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah, that will be on the exam.
It will be. Yeah. I'm printing out the test right now.
If you forget we got it, you can always check the inventory overlay in the corner of the screen.
Right. So the menu is going to be really important for this run, but obviously because we're trying to avoid the amount of times we pause, you're not going to be seeing it much. So to give everyone a reminder of kind of what items we have, I've overlaid some basically of what the pause menu would look like right now if I did pause, but I won't be.
Hey, can you pause right now so I
That's
can see
very
what items you have?
No, and I don't even have to because I just explained this, man. It's right there.
Now we're going to Kakariko Village.
We got beans.
Yes, now
also.
we're going to Kakariko. Did get beans, so we will be using those later.
Well, spoilers.
Well, I wouldn't get them if I wasn't going to use them.
Well, that's not true.
What if you just really like beans?
What if you just need a lot of items in your inventory?
Beans.
Looks like we're getting the Cucco bottle here, which makes sense. We can get that without pausing.
Yep, that's another item we can get without pausing.
Yeah, but how are we gonna
Um,
use it?
Well, we're going to eventually have to pause, I think. I don't think we found a way to beat this game without pausing yet. Unless...
Unless. So what is the? I mean, is it worth discussing like what are the obvious challenges in like
Oh, yeah.
this?
Yeah, I
So-
think so.
Okay,
No, you
you
go.
can go ahead. I was
No,
gonna say,
you go.
like,
Bro, I
without-
insist.
like at first glance, if you're like, what would be the difficult things that seem like they would require pauses? It's basically the boss fight, because a lot of the bosses have required items to beat them, or seemingly required, such as Baronade needs you to use the boomerang, Volvagia needs you to use the hammer, and Hunrova needs you to use the mirror shield. Right?
Mhm.
Those seem
Yes,
like the
exactly.
obvious challenges at a first glance.
So those are really big challenges. Getting into some dungeons is also a challenge. We can think of a couple off the top of our head. Forest Temple is, the entrance to it is pretty high up, so we need a way to be able to get into that loading zone without using a ton of pauses. Jabu Jabu has, need some sort of item to be able to get into the dungeon. Normally it's like a bottled fish. There's a couple ways to do it with glitches. A lot of those though do require items, so that's a big thing we need to think about. Spirit Temple could be a big issue, but we've already kind of been to Spirit Temple and have the Requiem, so we got a way to be able to do that now. So that's kind of a problem we've already solved. But yeah, Water Temple, normally requires iron boots and the hook shot. So yeah, getting into dungeons is also maybe another roadblock in some sense.
So we're gonna go in and buy a Hylian shield, I presume. Yep. 'Cause,
Yep.
This is the Hylian shield is one thing that I believe actually will get automatically equipped when you change to Adult Link.
Absolutely, yes. And that's the only shield that will do that. The mirror shield will not automatically equip itself if you have it. So that's basically a free item that we don't have to equip. So it's really important that we get that Hylian shield. So I was talking earlier about how the invisible seam tool really made this run possible, and this is a big part of that.
Yep.
Is the fact that we
Wow.
can now skip the door of time without pausing at all or without using any items. So the thing is when you do a seam climb like that, your Y velocity is super high. It's like you can get it up to, I think the highest I've ever gotten is 45 a velocity of, or I think 48. For instance, if you're familiar with Hessing, Hessing is a speed of 18, so it's basically 3 times faster than a Hess. So it's really easy to clip through ceilings with it because you just go so fast that I think you just you skip over the check for the ceiling collision because you're just moving so fast that within one frame you can just clear the distance that the ceiling would basically check if you're gonna hit it.
Yeah. It is the year 2026, and even though Ben did that seam climb for Door of Time skip, very fast and with no items, that seam climb is RTA viable with a setup if you have a sword, as both Child Link and Adult Link, which is very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in general, climbing the invisible seams is RTA viable. You just need setups for them, and you're not gonna do them as fast.
Exactly. Yeah, we can do them crazy fast in a task setting, obviously, but doing them without a sword and without a shield. A sword makes doing seam hovers, like finding setups for them, way, way, way better. And a shield makes climbing seams a little bit easier. So it's nice to be able to have both of those items, but obviously in like a pauseless setting, we're not going to have those. As child, at least, in that segment. This cutscene's long. It sucks.
Yeah. I
But
see on your
it
gear
is-
screen that you have Master Sword and Hylian Shield equipped now. So that's pretty convenient.
It is, yes. So now that we picked up the Master Sword, we have access to that item. We can use that. Not having a sword as child is really annoying, but now we have a sword equipped and we have a shield equipped. And, you know, just a little refresher. As I was saying earlier, I do have separate overlays here for child items and adult items because when you go forward and backwards in time, you're actually using different item menus. So if I was to equip a bunch of stuff as adult or as child and then go adult, like those equips would not carry over. So if I like put the bottle on the X button as child before this, when I go adult, it's not going to be there. So it stores those equipment placements separately for child and adult. So that's why that's relevant. That's why I have those two different overlays right there. And like I said on N64, when you go adult, I believe it equips bombs, Deku Nuts, and the Ocarina on your equipment buttons, but you do not get those free equips in this game. So if I want to use any of those items, I'm going to have to A, go get them, and then B, pause and equip them.
I believe in N64 it only equips the Ocarina and Deku Nuts if you have them.
Good
Yes.
thing you had that warp
no.
song.
Yeah. So the whole reason why I had to go all the way out of my way
about that.
to go get the Requiem is because there's no way to get out of that room after you've done Dora Time Skip without a warp song. And I think that's the only warp song as child that we can get without pausing. So, yeah.
Nice rock.
Yeah, this is a nice rock.
I'm very worried for what you're about to do.
Yeah, you should be. I'm gonna be honest, this isn't as bad as you think. It's not good.
Oh my god, is that the infinite sword glitch?
That is the infinite sword glitch.
In my Ocarina
Is your
of
sword
Time
swinging
3D?
like 10 times a second or
Times?
something?
No, it's just 10 times.
Oh, 10 times.
I get the reference. Yeah. I think my sword is swinging 10 times. Yeah, so the infinite sword glitch is a really famous glitch in the N64 version where basically you can interrupt a crouch stab and your sword begins swinging every frame. It causes a lot of weird side effects where you don't walk off of ledges and stuff like that. That version of the glitch does not work in 3D. But there is a way to do it. It's just really annoying. You need to die while your sword hitbox is out and then revive while your sword hitbox is out in midair and then revive before you hit the ground. So the easiest way to do that is to take damage during the middle of a jump slash and then land on like a heart or a fairy or something like that. And so the big thing with that is it does allow us to hover. So if you shield a source of damage, you kind of stay put where you are vertically. And because ISG doesn't allow you to walk off of the edges, you kind of just stay floating in the air. Now, a couple really good things about this is the jump slash method does, if you die on the first frame that your sword hitbox is out, your sword doesn't actually do any damage, which makes Gwei hovering not super duper bad, because when the Gwei gets near you, it doesn't instantly get murked by the sword hitting it. So my sword actually is not doing any damage right now, so I can't kill that Gwei, which is really nice. Another really good added thing about ISG in this game is that for whatever reason, when you do a backflip, it goes just a little bit higher than on N64. So you can actually do a hover off the ground. You can do one hover and stay floating, because on N64, and in this game too, if you don't if you're too close to the ground while hovering, it'll actually just snap you back down to the ground, and you'll no longer be in the air. But if you get a max height hover, you only need to do one to stay floating. Whereas in N64, you need to do like 2 hovers back to back in order to stay in the air initially. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that about 3D. That with a perfect backflip hover, you could stay off the ground.
Yep. Yeah, it's really convenient.
Another quirk of ISG in this game is that if you put the sword away, you'll actually lose ISG unless you do like a quick draw, right? Then you can put the sword away. But what that means practically is that even if we had explosives like bombs to equip, we couldn't actually hover with them because we would not have the sword out. So
yeah. So you basically can't put away the sword. There is a way to do it, but in practice, basically you're only able to do like a bomb hover.
yeah.
You can do like one, and then you're done. So basically our best bet, and this comes up in a couple situations where hovering off of enemies, although really annoying, can be very useful, and it's basically our best way to do hovering in this game. Now, another good thing is because the backflip goes just a little bit higher than on N64, no spoilers, but I checked every other recorded instance I could find of anyone doing a Gwei hover here, and I was able to make this quite a bit faster than any other complete Gwei hover that I've seen on N64, just because you get a little more height per hover. So it's not going to be as bad as it is on N64. But it's definitely going to take a second.
Yawn.
Yeah. Boring tasks. But no, this is really cool. This was kind of my first thing that I was thinking of because when I was thinking about, like, is this going to be possible? I was like, okay. Well, we're probably going to need the mirror shield for Twin Roba. I mean, that is a really, really hard requirement. It's probably the hardest requirement in theory to be able to get around at this point. Would you say for like a pauseless thing? Like,
yeah, I mean, I just like, aside from you know obviously like some sort of SRM or Ace shenanigans, I don't know how you would get around that kind of requirement.
yeah. So, like, spoilers, having the mirror shield is going to be really important. And there just isn't really a good way to get the mirror shield without basically being able to use any items beside the sword and the shield. So, Gwei hover is kind of the best option.
So is the sort of like strategy for this Gwei hover to hover up like very high and then like do a backflip or side hop down to presumably one of the Colossus hands, or are we gonna try to move over to where the Colossus hands are at some point during the hover?
You will see.
Okay.
You will see.
All will be revealed.
So the way the Gwei works is it kind of has like a home. I believe this is how it works. It kind of has like a whole, like an origin point, and it kind of doesn't really want to go any further away from that origin as it needs to. So after it hits you with the shield, it kind of gets bored, it flies away, and then eventually it'll kind of hit the edge of its origin and then notice you and then come back. So I'm kind of hovering in the middle of this Gwei's like zone.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it'll always at some point like notice me again and come right back. So yeah, it's a pretty quick way, an effective way. I'd say quick. Obviously, this is like
We've been doing this for 7 minutes so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing this, but that's kind of how it works. The other really good thing is that after it hits your shield, the Gwei always kind of flies upwards a little bit. So theoretically, I haven't tested this, but you could, I think, do this forever. I think the Gwei would stay at your Y elevation forever. because it does that little upward flying away every time you shield its damage.
Right.
So we could go as high as we wanted with this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's still in the category, but I know that I think it was max percent child in Ocarina of Time in 64. Did like a 40-minute Gwei hover at one point.
Yeah, 2 Gwei hovers back to back, actually.
I believe one of those Gwei hovers was all the way from like the Oasis area that you can see right now where those trees are, so...
Yes. There's less Gweis in the child version of this map. So I believe the closest one is all the way over where all those palm trees are by the Oasis. So you gotta... it's really bad.
And so it looks like we're about level elevation-wise with Colossus hands at this point.
We're getting there.
I assume we gotta go at least a little bit more.
Gotta go a little higher than that.
I guess, like, to go back to the discussion about Mirror Shield a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I saw some people in chat mentioning earlier, there is this glitch called Quick Put Away that lets you do damage types for items that you don't necessarily have, not necessarily using. That I think a lot of people have seen before. Like, it is possible to like do hammer damage to objects and enemies and stuff without using the hammer through this glitch called QPA. But something like that doesn't even work for Mirror Shield, because damaging Twin Robo with Mirror Shield doesn't even use that type of damage. It's like a much more hard-coded interaction for how that boss specifically is programmed with the Mirror Shield reflection mechanic. So I guess what I'm saying is there's not even like a theoretical way to not use the Mirror Shield to kill Twin Roba. It's very much like a hard requirement that there's not even some way to get started on. I mean, unless Ben discovered something new.
It's I won't spoil it.
But it does seem like you're getting the Mirror Shield right now.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I was doing all this hovering to get the Mirror Shield when he could have just walked up an invisible seam.
There is an invisible seam that you still need to get out of bounds, so you would still need to hover. But the annoying thing is it would actually allow you to get the Mirror Shield with a lot less hovering. There's a reason why I don't do that, though, and I will explain. You won't see that invisible seam hover, but you could do it. Okay, don't blink.
Whee!
Okay, there it is. It's done.
Oh, that's not the
over.
Mirror Shield.
It's not the Mirror Shield, and that's the reason why I don't use that invisible seam, is because I'm not here for the Mirror Shield. I'm here for the...
Whoa!
Whoa!
So I gotta watch this cutscene.
You could use those without pausing.
You can
Please
use
don't-
it without pausing. They're
Please
great
don't tell me
items.
we're gonna come back later and do the Gwei hover again for the Mirror Shield.
Now, I know that you know this game well enough to know that I would not do that for a specific reason. But yeah, so that invisible seam that I was talking about earlier, that would let me get to the Mirror Shield. It would not let me get to the Silver Gauntlet. So I do need to do the full hover to get up here. It's really annoying. But it does have sauce, so we like it. Okay, so really chill, cool thing here is that these surfaces were changed in 3D, so you can just walk up them. They're just like a slippery slope. So after getting the Silver Gauntlet, I can just come over and go get the Mirror Shield.
But you can't go the other way around, so.
Yeah, you cannot do that the other way around. Okay. And... oh no.
Did you have to climb the finger to die?
Climbing the finger gave me just enough height to lose a full heart as opposed to half a heart. So I could have fallen
Nice.
and then gotten hit by a lever, but that has no sauce. We hate that. Okay, so that lets me save warp and takes me back to the Temple of Time. You can walk up those surfaces on N64? Okay, alright. Everything I say is wrong. It's different. It's like you can walk up them, but I feel like it's worse. I feel like it's harder. Is maybe what it was. Yeah, no more Kue hovering, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be more hovering in this run. So, stay tuned.
Looks like we're going to Kakariko next. Maybe picking up a hook shot potentially. That could be useful, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of good items in the Kakariko region. We got hookshot. Hover boots are also not far away, and as we stated earlier, if you equip hover boots to your X, Y, or Z button, you can... Oh no, we're just getting the egg. Which means we will be using that later, because we did get it.
I mean, well, okay, yeah, we're getting the egg on the way to get hookshot, shortly.
It's more likely than you
Ben?
think. Yeah.
You ever gonna enter any dungeons?
Yeah, it's been 44 minutes about, and I haven't seen any dungeons yet, so...
We're getting there.
I guess,
No, wait,
I guess
we
you
did
technically
go
entered
into the Spirit Temple.
Oh, that's true.
Did, yes. Did go in the Spirit Temple. Yeah, Dante. Obviously, we're here for hookshot. We're schmoovin'. Part of me was really tempted. Again, this was emphasis capital L LOTAD. Okay, this is low optimization. I did make this in probably about 8 weeks. So I'm not doing a bunch of crazy side hop nonsense. It's yeah, low optimization. Despite that, though, you do actually move a little faster in 3D, so it is possible to get a 43 here without doing anything crazy. So that's cool. Okay, something really important here is that if you were, for some crazy reason, to do this in real time, this next room here, if I were to get stuck in there, I would actually be locked out of being able to complete the challenge, because there's no way out of that room without Song of Time or being able to save quit or die, which I can't do any of because I don't have a source of damage.
Yeah, it would be a little
I believe
rough.
mashing... Yeah, it'd be bad. I believe mashing rolls is actually faster. Or, no, I think you want
I just
one...
like that about this game.
You want one frame, I believe, optimally, but it's not a huge difference. I think if you have one gap frame, it's good. But not by much more than just mashing.
You gotta do ZFT
I could-
rules in this game.
You cannot Requiem out of that room, I believe. I don't think you can use warp songs in that area. I don't know why.
Nice fest.
Okay. We're schmoovin'.
Oh wait, he's gonna do it. He's gonna enter a
No
dungeon.
way.
Oh my god.
No flipping way.
And this is why
That's
we
really
got
good
silver
thing.
guns.
Yeah.
This is just a
Classic.
cutscene skip for the cutscene that normally plays when you blow up this wall.
Absolutely. So we can skip that first little cutscene right there. And also it makes the platform cycle here a little bit nicer. So it's good to have.
But yeah, so Dodongo's Cavern is normally a dungeon you're supposed to go through as child. So simply by virtue of being adult Link, you can skip quite a bit of it. So we don't have to go around the first loop on the right side there.
Yep. And I believe this is one of like 3 dungeons that you can enter as either age without glitches. So you are actually intended, I believe, to get all the gold Skulltulas to enter this dungeon as adult. So like it's not a glitch to be in the dungeon, but to be in the dungeon as adult before having beaten it is, yeah, not intended.
That's a cute little optimization with the bomb flower. Kind of a throwback to old any percent routes.
Yeah, so is that cutscene skip at the beginning.
Yeah.
They're cute. Okay, so why are we in Dodongo's Cavern? What are we getting here?
Well, we have to beat Dodongo's Cavern. At the
We
very
do.
least. But presumably explosives could be useful, I would imagine. Generally, explosives in Zelda games tend to help quite a bit. Also, that jump right there skipped the other loop on this side of the dungeon, so that's the other big advantage of being here as Adult Link.
All right,
Nice.
now we got some bombs. Hitting the button.
The button open for the shortcut, and we're leaving.
We're out.
Dude, are you ever gonna beat a dungeon? Oh my god.
It's you're gonna have to wait a little longer. I believe, yeah, the 3 dungeons you can enter as either Age of That Glitches are Spirit Temple, Dodongo's Cavern, and Shadow Temple. Although you can't really get very far in Shadow Temple without glitches as Child.
Oh, I saw that guano walk.
LOTAD.
Yeah, okay, shut up. I think, alright, to be fair, I think that's the only time I did that, so. And I just couldn't be bothered to fix it. Whoops. Okay. So I don't think this is necessary to get this, but it would have required a lot of really annoying stuff to skip it. So we're gonna get the Goron tunic there.
OT runners seeing those text boxes and crying right now.
They're so fast, dude.
Nice job not taking damage.
Yeah, that was actually really hard and kind of slow, but I didn't know where to get hearts. Okay, don't blink.
Whee!
There he goes.
Nice.
There's another one of those invisible seams. Okay, just for visual clarity, there's a couple of points in this run where I'm out of bounds, and it's really hard to tell what's going on. So I used a little tool to essentially show you what this would look like if the collision was working. There's a neat little website called NoClip that has some really cool like camera macro stuff. So just in a couple areas to make it a little more obvious what's going on, I put a little display of that in the corner. Couple more invisible seams here.
Oh.
Okay,
This
don't
is
blink,
the
don't
place
blink.
you normally don't
Don't
see
blink.
Adult Link.
Whoa.
Oh.
All right, we pause.
Alright, looks
We
like
equipped
got,
some items.
Yeah, we
I
got
did.
nuts, bombs, the empty bottle, and a hook shot. Also, we equipped Mirror
Shield
Shield
and
and
Goron
Goron Tunic.
Yep.
So when you reflect that nut with the mirror shield, it breaks and doesn't actually reflect and hit the Deku Scrub.
Exactly. Yep. You need the Hylian shield or the Deku shield to be able to reflect that nut. Okay, don't blink.
Oh yeah, the 3D model view on the top right is so cool for that.
Nice.
Okay.
Alright, finally Ben is gonna beat a dungeon. My goodness.
Maybe. That would have been a
you
sick
just-
double KO.
You're alive?
No, I am alive.
Okay.
So without a magic meter, optimally you'd probably want a quick spin to end that fight. But or like during the fight. But without the magic meter, the hitbox doesn't like stay out for as long as you would want. So doing it that way is a little faster.
And now
Oh yeah,
we have a
we got
8-minute cutscene or something.
with the text.
It's not that long, even on N64.
That's true.
Close to
yeah.
like 3.
It feels like
That's the first time?
was-
It's like 5 to 6 minutes on like N64 English. I think.
Yeah, so I got the slingshot there. Means we will be using that item.
But Ben, I got a question. Just
Yeah.
just curious. Is it by any chance important which item was equipped to which button?
Maybe.
Thinking.
It's potentially very important.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yes. And now that we finally started doing some stuff with our items here, we can see that the item overlays in the top right are now kind of desynced between child and adult. So like the position of the slingshot is different for both of those menus right now, because obviously we created some gaps when we equipped some items. So yeah, so now you can kind of see why I put both of those displays up, because they're no longer looking identical.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting difference between the N64 game and 3D, is that you can actually change the position of the items in your inventory.
Yes.
They don't have fixed slots.
Internally they do have a slot. So like the Deku stick slot, for example, like there is a Deku stick slot. That like, but it's not in a fixed position on the grid. You can move that slot to wherever you want it to be, but there is like a spot for the Deku sticks. It's just
the
it
slots
can
are
move around
dedicated,
wherever.
but the grid view is just another view that you can move them around on.
Yeah. There will be more on that later. VG, yeah, I did use the studio feature. I basically created a script that just dumped the camera position data from the game, and I just inputted the values into that studio feature. Theoretically, it should be possible for any game.
That's actually a really neat idea, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's really cool. Like huge shout outs to I believe Jasper, who does that website, and a lot of other really cool stuff. It's a great tool for like being able to quickly like view an area in like a ton of video games. Like that site's really built out. It's pretty sick. Oh, did you make that feature? What? That's crazy. Well, it's super helpful. So thank you.
Can't believe you killed the Deku tree, Ben.
I did. And it only took one pause.
Because normally if you skip the cutscene being the dungeon, the Deku tree, I don't think ever goes to that state of being dead, or am I wrong?
I don't know. Okay, so that's one dungeon. Now we have a couple more tools in our inventory to start doing some stuff. Also, we got bombs, so we can start making movement a little more interesting, which is really nice.
Nice.
Crit wiggles do happen in the 3D version. It's still pretty annoying. There's definitely some clips of...
I was just saying, the glitch that you saw right there is called a ledge cancel, and basically just allows Link to walk through actors, so we can skip having to play Saria's song from Mido, because we don't have Saria's song.
Yes, that lets me get through him. I recently
We
found
could have
another way.
gotten Saria's song and used it without adding additional pauses. It's just faster to not do
Yeah.
that.
would you have been able to get past the Wolfos? Like, to get Serious
Oh,
on?
actually, interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a really good question. Wait, probably not.
Okay, so ignore what I just said then. Game Stable is smarter than me.
Could you hover with the Wolfos? Maybe. There might be
Oh,
some
maybe.
shenanigans.
How would you get ISG without a sword?
Don't talk to me.
That's-
Stop emailing my wife.
You asked too many questions.
Yeah,
that was a Minuet
Alright, so we
cutscene
just got
skip
the
right there. Yeah.
Yes. So that gives me the menu in a forest. Obviously, using warp songs now that, or like since I can just use the ocarina without a pause, is pretty useful. So we can do that.
That loading zone is hookshotable for some reason.
Yeah, they just clicked the checkbox for that piece of collision that has the loading zone and said, make this hookshotable. I don't know why.
Now we're gonna do the same tech to skip the Bolero cutscene, where you just die on the same frame you enter the cutscene trigger. On N64, you do actually see like the camera panning for the start of the cutscene, but on 3D, you just it still does work. You just don't get the camera pan that tells you that it worked.
That is true.
Entering another dungeon right now.
Another dungeon.
Nice.
Wrong
action.
warping is possible in 3D, but the primary method of doing it requires, to be honest, a lot of pausing. So, spoilers, probably not something you're going to see a ton of in this run, but it is very possible. Not only is it possible, it probably has more applications. It's probably more accessible than it is on N64. As far as arbitrary code execution, probably not. There probably is some form of SRM that would work. It's just very complicated and no one's figured it out yet, but theoretically SRM could exist.
OoT3D has the least researched SRM out of the N64 Zeldas and their remakes. Even MM3D has useful SRM applications. But it does exist, it's just not researched very thoroughly.
Yeah.
There's some technical reasons why Ace is a lot more would be a lot more difficult to make happen in OoT3D than in OOT. Like it literally comes down to a change in the 3DS running a more modern operating system that prevents you from doing certain things that the N64 doesn't prevent you from doing. Among other things, it's there would be a lot more to figure out.
Yeah. I don't think there's currently any 3DS games with arbitrary code execution. Unless
Not that I know of in a speedrun context.
Cubic Ninja.
Yeah, there's like buffer overflow exploits, including in OoT3D with like malicious
Yes.
QR codes or save files. But those aren't things that would be applicable to a speedrun. But it's actually very easy to homebrew your 3DS.
Yeah, it's surprisingly easy. So Fire Temple. If you know how Fire Temple generally looks in a speedrun, to be honest with you, pretty much the two main items that are useful in this dungeon are like bombs and a hookshot. And considering I do have both of those equipped, there's not like a ton that's stopping us from doing the majority of Fire Temple. But the real kicker is the boss, Valvazia, does require the Megaton Hammer to be able to, stun for the final blow. So that's kind of the big thing right there. So using a glitch here called Ledge Clip, which allows me to kind of clip into the floor right there at that ledge, and a damage boost from a bomb, I can clip into this hallway. Lets me skip a couple of rooms. Yeah, the glitchy ledge grab. Are we still calling that the Michael Jordan?
I think so.
Or is that only the one in Spirit Temple where you go like really high in the lobby?
Hmm.
We like that one too.
You know, I
So
think
this also-
recently Danny B was researching ledge grab mechanics and stuff. I wonder if he has like some cool explanations for those things.
But yeah, by doing that ledge clip, we also skip going through a ton of small key doors, so we don't have to collect as many small keys.
Yeah, it skips a decent. I think it skips like 2 or 3 keys overall, so it's really nice. Yeah. We can use a Hess here to skip another small key. You can also just do it with like a roll or a side hop, but you know, it's swag.
We will unfortunately not be freeing all 9 Gorons in Fire Temple.
Will not be doing that. Stay mad. Yeah, so I think theoretically doing the majority of Fire Temple with just bombs would actually be really easy. Because you can use bombs for the Flare Dancer here instead of using the hook shot, but it is just a lot faster to use the hook shot.
Also, one other difference between 3DS and N64 is that the 3DS version does not have power crouch stabbing. So you will not, like, you cannot store the attack value of whatever attack you previously used and then, like, essentially recall it with a crouch stab, because they fixed that.
No zombie jump Fire Temple thing in this game. So the mechanics of zombie walking in Ocarina of Time 3D are different, where you don't get like you don't get as much movement. You basically just get rolls and side hops and backflips during a zombie walk, so it's much more restricted.
There is a way to do it, but it requires using Boomerang as adult, which is very annoying in this game.
Yeah, that's a pretty big ask in OoT3D.
Yeah,
That
possible.
could be relevant for this run,
Not-
honestly. Just throwing that
maybe.
up. I don't know.
Okay.
Wait,
Got the hammer.
you didn't beat the dungeon?
Did not beat the dungeon.
Well, just because we have the hammer doesn't mean we can use it.
I
Exactly.
mean, the hammer's not equipped, so...
Dang.
Having the Goron tunic in that dungeon also is helpful. I did when I researched. I don't think anyone ever looked into this, but the 1/16th heart thing does work. Where if you're not wearing the Goron tunic, you can basically prevent the timer from ever coming up. If you have 1/16th heart. So obviously hearts are in quarters visually, but internally they're stored as 16ths. So if you're able to get that value all the way down to 1/16th, then for whatever reason the game just won't register that like the timer needs to be set. It's just like really hard. There's only a couple of damages that decrease health in increments of 1/16th. One of those is fire damage, so that's probably the way you would do it. Okay, coming in here, getting magic, which means we're probably going to be using some items that need magic. Right?
Yeah, like
Seems like it.
Rory's Wind.
Exactly.
I hope we get Nehru's love.
You may not be disappointed.
Also, one other thing that I just noticed when you were moving through Death Mountain Crater is that it seems like you are actually using like the motion capabilities.
Yes, I am.
For aiming things. Yeah, that's like, is that any difficult to do in a task setting for Ocarina of Time 3D?
So the way I did this was mostly, to be honest with you, relatively like RTA. Most segments are RTA. Now
Okay.
doing like really optimized, yes, is pretty annoying to do. But if you do it, you can basically no scope everything in one frame from like
Right.
any position. Yeah, because you can essentially turn around 180 degrees and look up or down at 90-degree angles like in a single frame. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so did a cute little trick to enter Dodongo's cavern quickly from the fairy fountain, and now I'm coming up here to Dodongo's cavern. I lit the eyes now that I have bombs, and I'm gonna go ahead and enter the boss room. So there's a cute little trick you can do here on N64 where you use some navi text with the keys to hold the switch down. That trick kind of works, but the switch doesn't stay pressed for very long, so it's not enough time to actually get to the door.
Is that a frame rate difference, or is it just unrelated?
No, I think it's a
Shorter.
I think it's a difference with how the switch actually works, because the switch it pretty much immediately comes back up. It's not like it's 1.5 times faster. It's like pretty instant. And also the switch in Jabu does still work the same way. So I do genuinely think it's just the switches are a little different for some reason. Okay, King Dodongo, the hardest boss.
I like that you're doing the dungeons in order so far.
I am. Yeah.
Surely we'll do Jabu Jabu next.
I think so.
Didn't throw the bombs off the
Dudong's
wall.
cavern. Throwing bombs off walls in this game is really annoying because they decrease the amount that bombs bounce off of walls, and I'm almost 100% certain they did it because of that one room at the Dodongo's cavern where you have to throw a bomb up to that ledge to break that wall to get to the first flame room. Because I think people were bad at that on N64. Okay, that's 2 dungeons.
Woo.
So at this rate, this run will be 5 hours.
It's better than the 7.5 hours we were on pace for after one dungeon.
100%.
Oh, this is 100% now?
100%, which may actually be 7 hours. I don't know. So the reason I actually went ahead and thought of the idea for what I was going to do for this run is because I was thinking about some low pause 100% stuff. I do have the frameworks of a route worked out for that, and it's pretty good. I don't think it's as cool as this. This run is going to use some really, really cool stuff, but 100% can be done in a good number of pauses.
Also, this cutscene you're not supposed to see is
Oh,
adult
yeah.
Link, so it's a little messed up.
If I spoke too late, but you can barely see the Goron Ruby like in the background. It's like clipped into the floor way behind Link. I don't know why that is, but yeah. He's kind of crouching, screaming. This cutscene's really funny if you put on the iron boots as adult. Because Link doesn't walk right, so he kind of just like teleports around. It's like a YouTube poop type stuff. It's pretty good. Okay. I wonder where we're going next.
Oh.
Back to the graveyard. Getting some bomb drops and refilling health.
Getting a little bit of everything. Okay, for some reason I couldn't do this without hook shotting the fence first. I don't know why, but whatever. Okay, so we can do a cheeky little hookshot jump there. That hookshot jump works pretty similar to the way that it works on N64, where if you bonk a wall and then pull out your hookshot, basically you can interrupt the frame when the hookshot interacts with the hookshotable object, but your Y value stays really high during the connection, so you kind of just dip upwards, and you can skip Din's Fire with that, and skip the Nocturne of Shadow to get into Shadow Temple. So that's cute.
Neat.
So we're going over to go get the hover boots, obviously, because we're going to be using that item, I'm sure.
Hover boots are very useful.
So Dead End was changed in this version of the game. So Dead End is actually invincible for much of the time that he is spawned. So doing the cheeky little one cycle, not possible. So 2 cycles is the best you can do. Okay.
You still got that like double hit situation.
Yeah, the sword can hit twice for some reason sometimes. Okay, don't blink. This is kind of new for OoT3D. Not the best setup here, but basically you can use 3 bombs right there in a very precise manner to clip through that wall. It's really precise, but what's more precise is this right here. You wanted bouncing bombs off of walls. Well, there you go.
Very nice.
That boss key skip with the ledge clip and the bomb boost is so precise in this game. I cannot even tell you how long it took me to do that. Basically, the bomb needs to... There are, like, the angle at which you can get hit by that bomb and actually land in the loading zone is insane, because you don't actually even land in the loading zone. You clip underground and then clip back up into the door, because ledge clips just work a tiny bit different in this game compared to N64. It's insanely precise. The only way to get it to work with a bomb is you have to bounce it off the wall so that the bomb explodes over the void at the perfect angle to hit you right into the door. So good luck doing that, RTA.
Very cool, though.
Maybe the first run demonstration actually taking advantage of bomb push in this game. I can't think of another example.
Yeah.
There's probably more applications for it, but for now, yeah, it's sick.
Unfortunately, Game Stabled was wrong, and we are not beating the dungeons in order anymore.
Yep. Womp womp.
True.
Now we're doing reverse dungeon order.
But not doing Spirit Temple. Well, I mean, I guess...
Spirit and Shadow can be done in any order. Technically, Spirit Temple can be done in any order, right?
Yeah, I mean, the adult dungeons don't have, like, a concrete set order, even casually, so... There's like a recommended order, but... Yeah.
But I think without glitches, and without even getting too creative, I think you can do Spirit Temple... No, you need to... No, you do need to do Forest Temple.
You need either long shot or hover boots?
Yeah,
you can get Epona. Oh, true.
Yeah, but you are supposed to need to do Silver Gauntlets as a child, so you are supposed to have to do Forest Temple first.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess in terms of the items we've equipped, we've been using bombs a lot. We use them to do Dodongo's Cavern for sure. We've used Hookshot a lot. We've used Deku Nuts for Goma.
Yes, Deku Nuts for Goma. Bombs we've been using a lot.
Kind of made use of having the Goron Tunic equipped for like Death Mountain Crater and Fire Temple. We've yet to use the bottle or the mirror shield.
Right. Now the mirror shield has some pretty obvious implications for why we have it. But the bottle we have not yet used.
You know, just in case folks at home are keeping score.
So if you're familiar with Ocarina of Time speedruns, a lot of people know that you can beat the Forest Temple very, very quickly by essentially doing a boss key skip from the big open room in the middle of the dungeon. All of those are possible in this version as well. All you need is basically the hookshot or the bow, an item that's able to damage Phantom Ganon, which is also kind of a hard item requirement when you think about it. Because in order to deal damage to Phantom Ganon, you either need the hookshot, the bow, or the slingshot to be able to do that. So in theory, this dungeon can be completed really, really quickly.
Interesting that you say in theory the way that you
do.
There's a butt coming.
But obviously, I'm not doing the boss key skip, and I'm getting some small keys. So, wonder why that is. Which Stalfos?
I think you're going for the compass.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Secretly, all dungeon compasses low pause.
If I was going for the compass, that would be pretty messed up because I think. Actually, never mind. There is a reason why what I was about to say was not true. So just forget that. But I don't want to say it yet because it's kind of a spoiler.
Interesting that we're going this way.
We are going this way. And it is interesting that we're going this way. There are a lot of really easy ways to skip that key door and save yourself a small key. However, I don't have access to a lot of items I would normally have, so I'm not doing that. So I am opening that key door so that I can get up here to this part of the courtyard. And now I'm coming in here to get myself another small key. Low pause DDM. Probably not. You probably need a lot of pauses, but I don't know. Or maybe not. I haven't thought about it at all.
You got a lot of items you haven't equipped at any point. There's
They're
a lot
really,
to see here still.
really filling up the inventory.
There are, yeah, there's a lot. So these blocks do require having at least the Goron bracelet, so it's another instance where having the silver gauntlets helps. Because there are ways to get past these blocks without having a strength upgrade, but they require items either that we don't have or that we don't currently have equipped. So
Exactly, yeah. I think the best items for skipping that would be you would need Din's Fire, Hookshot, and Hover or Iron Boots, or if you had Bomb Choose and Hookshot. And yeah, some of those items I don't even have, let alone have equipped. So yeah. So I'm pushing blocks. We're pushing blocks.
We're pushing blocks. We're watching the cutscenes. This run's awesome.
Luckily, pushing blocks is done. No more block pushing.
No more block pushing. Wow.
Spoilers.
Ever. I don't know. Do I push any more blocks? I might. I don't know if I do. Anyways, coming up here. Now, obviously, not only do I need to beat all of the dungeons in this game, but I also do need to beat the game at the end. So clearly I'm going to need the bow so that I can get the light arrows, so that I can beat Ganondorf, right?
Yeah, totally.
That makes sense. I mean, you did get magic to be able to shoot light arrows. And potentially use other items, you know.
Theoretically.
Perchance.
Nice bomb drop.
Bro, you can't just say perchance. Oh no. How could I have stood there for so long and gotten hit by that bomb? That's so
I
sad.
know. You could have warp songed out and came back in instead.
I could have, and I did look at that and it was a little slower.
Yeah, I figured that makes sense.
But yeah, got the bow. Again, obviously, couldn't eat that. But now
Did you,
that I have the bow.
I'll wait for this to happen first.
Yep, and just do a cute
Neat.
little clip into that room.
Did you check if like a bonk hook shot jump can make the boss key skip from the courtyard, like out of bounds courtyard after bow?
It definitely doesn't. You don't even clear the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, I did check. Well, like forever ago. So I mean, maybe there's a way to do it. Yeah, but you don't even clear the wall. Because theoretically, that could be really good. They've like come in it or something, but no, I don't think so.
Oh, nice. You identified which one was the real Phantom Ganon.
I sure did.
I know that's
sure
super
did.
hard to do, so...
You can tell which one's which because one of them's brighter than the other, and one of them makes more noise. Coast chill. And it's not like I had infinite retries to be able to do it. It's just a cute little thing here. You can use the hook shot with good timing to kind of stun lock. Kind of pretty hard to do, but you know, it's done in real time as well. Not always successfully, but you know, it just makes the boss fight a little quicker.
Yeah, it is. This is funny to me how if you do it optimally like you did here, then he starts just going into the floor.
Does he start doing that? I've actually never noticed that.
Well, yeah, at least he was like halfway through the floor on the last one. At least that's what I saw, unless I was just seeing things, but I thought that was funny.
I think you're seeing things, Jim.
I noticed that too, actually. Jim, I think you're saying.
No, I'm a fool. Okay. That's
Picking up
number
the pace
4.
on dungeons now.
Yeah, we're looking a little
Love
better.
to see it.
Okay, so we still haven't really gotten past any of our like hard, annoying requirements yet. When you think about it, because we still have, you know, we haven't beaten kind of the 3 main bosses that are like notorious for being hard locked behind items. So we still haven't beaten Baronade or Twinrova or Volvagia, and we're still watching cutscenes.
Yeah, and this is the big one.
This is a long one. It's not great. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
Also, someone in the YouTube chat was asking if, like, there was some PR when this game first came out where the developer Grezzo said that, they intentionally re-implemented some glitches from the N64 game because they thought it would be so cool if they did that.
Wasn't that not? It wasn't actually Grezzo who said it, right? It was like a Nintendo person.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure.
Yeah. So there was like some Iwata asks.
Yeah.
Where that was mentioned, but that's definitely not true. Like, the glitches still exist because, like, it's not really possible to patch out all the glitches in this game if you're just working with the N64's source code as a base. I would imagine. So,
Well, I think they wanted to kind of market this as kind of like a from the ground up like remake using like all new code and stuff like that. But it's clearly not. So I think that was kind of just like, oh, yeah, we just thought it'd be fun to put the glitches back in. But realistically, it's just because like, why would they patch them? It's not really important.
yeah, a lot of the glitches that exist are not things that casual players are going to come across anyway.
Yeah. So I don't even know why that quote exists. It was a pretty goofy thing to say, and it was probably said without a whole lot of, insight on the like the development process. I don't know, but I mean it's not a big deal. I wouldn't even necessarily say it was a lie. It probably just. I can't remember if it was Wada, but yeah, it was probably just said without like really even knowing.
Oh yeah, we have silver scale. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we do have silver scale. Of course, we wouldn't be able to enter that loading zone if we didn't have silver scale using the invisible seam that was used earlier.
Right.
There's a cute little pop-up there we can do out of the water. That does not work on N64. Just something with how the collision is right at that corner. That's just neat. I like it. I like the way it looks.
You ever watch that little opening the waterfall cutscene with the 3D turned on and see the weird camera tearing stuff? Or not camera tearing, but just like... It's
like
really
the
weird.
collision, the seams where the collision meet the camera, like clip out of the screen. It looks goofy.
Nice clip right there to get to the entrance to Lake Hylia.
That's a cute
As
little
adult.
clip.
Nice clip here also to
Nice other
go to
cute
Water
clip,
Temple.
yeah.
Yeah, so we can do a ledge clip right there to get out of bounds, and the water is low enough right now that you can swim around in it and stay out of bounds. Technically, this is possible with the water raised all the way, but you just need to like fall way lower out of bounds and then kind of rise up, gamers, into the area where the water temple loading zone is. It's like pretty annoying to do, but it's possible. And then using that, we can get into the water temple without the iron boots or the hookshot, or importantly, the Zora tunic, obviously.
And the Zora tunic looks good, so it is very important in my opinion, actually.
It does look good. Okay, we can do a little damage boost right there to get up onto this area, and then we can use another ledge clip there to get out of bounds, swim through the water, and then using that we can kind of clip onto that weird little we'll basically get inbounds into this room. I do believe you need a damage boost to get up there in this version. That weird glitchy shield grab thing does not work in this game.
I wonder, this is super niche, but there's like that weird like ledge grinding or like side hop into a jump tap where you get like slightly less gravity on the first frame of your jump. I wonder if you could do something like that to make it.
I bet you could, yeah. I'm pretty sure that still works the same way. Okay, well, we're in the water temple. And we're getting some small keys.
Nice hookshot clip.
It's a cute little hookshot clip.
Yeah, so basically, for some reason in 3DS, the hookshot actually starts its shot from, like, I believe where it is in Link's hand, or in, like, his arm or something. Which is different from N64, because in N64, the hookshot actually shoots, like, from in Link's body. Which is why on 3DS we can do those hookshot clips, like this one right here, because we can actually just get the start of the hookshot through the wall to be able to shoot it through like this.
Okay, so I use more hookshot clips, yeah, to get to this small key. But there's no way out of that room. So I just have to do a death warp there so that I can respawn back at the beginning of the dungeon. Pretty annoying, but yeah. Okay, gonna come over here and just grab some bombs. And then we can do a hookshot clip here to clip out of bounds. And then there's a neat little damage boost you can do here. If you swim backwards out of water, you actually hop right back into the water immediately without doing anything. There's a frame or two where you can pull a bomb, and you can use that bomb to damage boost yourself back up to the top. Okay, and a fun little trick jump there can be used to skip a couple of rooms, and then also you can skip the iron boots there by jumping off that higher ledge to have enough vertical speed to go low enough in the water to clear that little overhang. And that lets me get the boss key. And now I'm gonna
all these little tiny things in Water Temple that are actually not completely trivial. That like they're not obvious. Like getting that boss key without the iron boots. I mean, it's obvious to anyone who has like speedrun this game before. Like everybody knows about that. But in terms of like, there is a trick to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Water Temple's actually, because I said at the beginning of this, I have a list of like all the things you can do pause list. Water Temple's really annoying. It's really annoying to do without pausing. And one of those really annoying things we're about to see right now. Unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Here we go.
So I can use hearts from one of those Tektites and damage from a bomb to get the infinite sword glitch. And then I've got another Tektite. Tektite having is really annoying. It just sucks. What I'm about to do here barely works. You barely have enough distance to mega flip up there. Otherwise, I would have needed to like hover to the wall on the right and then kind of like grind off of it all the way to the edge. It would have sucked. But I was able to do that way faster than I initially thought was going to be possible.
We also got a fairy for the bottle, so we finally used the bottle.
Did finally use the bottle.
Alright, so Morpha's a really difficult boss, known to have ended many runs before. So hopefully Ben doesn't die here.
I think it'll be okay. Morpha is actually really quite annoying without the hookshot. Possible, but annoying. But with the hookshot, which I do happen to have equipped, is really not that bad.
You would think.
Yeah. Hey, don't ask ZFG about it, though.
I mean, that has to have been why you got the fairy, right? So that just in case you died to Morpha, you would get another chance.
Just in case. You got it. That's the reason.
Also, yeah, I don't think there's really a, at least on regular quest for Ocarina of Time 3D, a way to skip the Water Temple boss key without wrong warping.
You can get the Water Temple boss key without getting the Water Temple boss key by doing reverse bottle adventure.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I do believe. Is that ice arrows? I think you need the bow with ice arrows equipped to get that item on your 2-button with RBA, which would require some pausing. So not going to be doing that. No, there isn't a nice little hover method to clip through the boss key like there is on N64, unfortunately. If it's ice arrows on N64, then it would be ice arrows on 3D. RBA doesn't get offset until you get a little further up the item list.
Yeah, so this is our 6th completed dungeon now, so...
Yes.
Is that?
Or 5th,
Six?
yeah,
No,
sorry.
I think
We still have Jabu, Fire, and Spirit.
Yeah, I was counting the medallions on the screen and forgot that light medallion's not a dungeon.
Yeah, Jabu, Fire, and Spirit. And those are, once again, still kind of the 3 dungeons that have, like, hard requirements for the bosses, or at least more so than the other dungeons.
I do believe it is bow with ice arrows, because I believe bow with fire arrows is still Fire Temple boss
It is,
key.
yeah.
Or like Fire Temple dungeon items, so...
You forget how long these cutscenes are, man. When you actually gotta watch all of them.
I was recently thinking, like, man, it might be cool to route like 100% Taiwanese version or something to get like early bomb chews and stuff, but man, cutscenes.
You really gotta be
Yeah.
watching these cutscenes.
Yeah, man, unless you want us to like, put Ferrari's Wind on B, you're gonna be watching cutscenes.
Honestly, you probably would. It'd be like a VC Hundo type route, probably.
I think you would have to, yeah. They just take so much time.
What? Why was that run so weird? Is that just
That's just the way that
how
is.
it normally
Yeah.
is? That looks so weird.
You can tell how long it's been since Photon's seen this cutscene.
Yeah.
I don't have a macro to go through the text. It's once you know how to pass the text, it's like it doesn't take me very long to do it manually. For 3DS emulation, lag frames don't really work the way lag frames work for other like passing consoles. So I don't even know if it would be possible to have a true. I think it probably would be, but it would just be annoying. So I just do it manually. It doesn't take that long. Okay, Spirit Temple.
Oh, we are gonna push a block again.
Oh no!
I knew it.
Wrong. Oh, it's not looking good, folks. Oh, my credibility, my legacy. No. I don't know if you can TSC to skip that block. I kind of messed around with it for a little bit, and I wasn't able to do it. And then I told myself, no one's gonna know anyways. And then I stopped looking for it. And clearly I was wrong. Picking up some small keys. I know you can on N64. I wasn't able to do it. I like messed around with it for probably like an hour, and then I was like, no one's gonna know. Nobody's gonna go into chat and say, no TSC? Question mark?
It's a pretty surprising amount of small keys collected in this game. Like 3 in forest, 2 in water. 4 in fire temple, 3 in fire temple.
Yeah. No, we'd be picking up keys. Okay. Running around.
What's in here?
What is in
Oh.
here?
Whoa.
Finally, the most important item of the game. They have it. Bomb shoes.
The bin cheese. Oh,
Oh,
Display.
what's gonna happen?
wee.
Oh. So this isn't necessary for the route, but it is quite a bit faster to be able to do a death hookshot jump up into this room, which allows us to make our way up here. Now there is a really good boss key skip method that involves a hookshot jump, but that method of boss key skip does require the hover boots or the iron boots, which I do have the hover boots, but I do not have them equipped. So I'm gonna be pushing some mirrors. I later realized that I don't think I
Fairy,
needed these
too.
bombs. Huh? Oh yeah, that explains the fairy. I don't think I needed to pick up those bombs there. So, oops.
No one's counting.
The statue climb does not work on 3D. Like, you can get up there, but I don't think you can clip through the wall the same way that you do.
Classic
So I
trick.
think- yeah, I think without items, you need the bow to be able to get this key, but you can just take damage and then run against that chest and open it from outside of the firewall. So from this point forward, we're kind of just getting to the end of this dungeon as intended, which is kind of boring, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Oh my gosh, the face melts so fast in OoT3D. I feel like
it's
that's
so
another frame
laggy.
rate change thing.
You think it's a frame rate?
Oh
or
yeah,
you
and then the
think it's a lag
cutscene.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that you only need to have the light on the face for the cutscene to start for way less time?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking? Okay.
That's what I meant. But then yeah, the boulders falling down, there's like no lag, which I don't know if some of that's also a Citra thing, but
I don't think so.
wait, am I allowed to say that?
What?
Citra
Yes,
illegal?
you can say sit.
I think Citra is legal to say. Yeah, this whole test was done using Citra emulators still. BizHawk does now have like pretty good 3DS implementation, but there's a couple of things preventing me from switching over, despite the fact that it would be really nice, and I'm kind of currently working on that. All right, this is a bit of a throwback. No one does this anymore.
Did anyone ever do this in runs for 3D?
Not
I
really. Oh, but when working on this, I think I finally figured out like the inputs for how those types of hookshot clips work. I think you need to let go of control stick for 1 frame and then let go of hookshot. I think that's what makes it work, because I know they're like always finicky. I think it's just like the frame that you let go of the control stick.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, it still makes it like annoying to do, but yeah.
Yeah. It also doesn't save a ton of time, but
Yeah, because the text is so fast in that cutscene anyways. I think when I originally looked into it, it saved like 7 or 8 seconds. Nothing crazy. Still in Spirit Temple.
alright, so
I mean, technically, I was only in Spirit Temple before this for about 2 seconds, so...
surely we get a quad here, right?
It's more likely than you think. Desync? I actually don't remember any of the movement that I did for this fight, I'm gonna be honest.
That's 2.
There's 2. Uh-oh. Can we get 3?
That's 3.
So for those who don't know, this fight is entirely random. But there's a basically the way that the witches work is they fly around the room kind of they can do like one of two things. They can stop in a random spot, or they can stop over one of these pillars. And if they stop over these pillars, then they can shoot one of their magic beams, or they can like skew one up and then fly somewhere else and then shoot it. And you can get into a situation where they kind of fly to the same pillar that they were already at to immediately queue up another shot. Something kind of similar happens with the second phase, where you can get Twinrova to not move between pillars. Another really annoying thing is that in this version, I don't even know how they did it, but I'm like almost 100% positive that it's not possible to do a 1 cycle on the second phase. So
With the Master Sword.
with the Master Sword, you can do it with the big Goron sword.
I've always heard that it was possible, but you didn't want to go for it because if you missed it, then you could get to like the low health phase where she does like random elements, and then you're just losing a lot of time. So,
I don't
but
think
maybe
it's
it is
possible.
just not possible.
Yeah. They changed something about how the stun timer works. Like a stun lock doesn't work like other bosses where they have like 1 frame before they get up where you can like continue to chain damage. It just doesn't work like that. Okay, there's Twinrova.
One of the challenge dungeons completed. So that's cool.
We saved the 2 hardest dungeons for last.
We did save the 2 hardest dungeons for last because although we've kind of been alluding to this idea that like the hammer and the boomerang and the mirror shield are kind of like the 3 big roadblocks for like low item or pauseless stuff. We have had the mirror shield for the majority of the run at this point, so we've kind of have had that solved for some time. But what are we going to do about the boomerang and the hammer?
So
That
you
is the
have the
question.
hammer, and
I do.
as far as I know, you needed at least bombs and hookshot to get it. So it could not have been equipped at the same time as the first boss.
I believe so. Although
Because
I do have a
you've used the
theory.
bottle, but I think you said it was only because it was faster to do that death jump in Spirit.
Yes.
And there's nothing that's actually been like hard required to have the bottle equipped so far.
Yeah, 100%. I do actually, no spoilers, I do think it is possible to get the hammer without equipping any items. I think hammer pauseless is possible. But it'd be really hard. But yeah, I don't have the hammer equipped right now. Yeah,
but
we're
you
still
can go
waiting
get the
for
light
bonus
arrows.
scheduling.
Oh yeah.
I can go get the light arrows. That's true. I can go get the light arrows. But I've got
Oh
some
my
really
god.
good news for you.
Oh my god.
I got some great news.
The people were memeing, but
Yeah. Ask and you shall receive.
If there's a run where you need to use magic that you don't think you're going to need to use, it's always Neighbor's Love.
We love Neighbor's Love. All right.
Now, this is still a lot of items that we're getting that we have not equipped, and unless we were suddenly going to pause like 4 more times, we could not ever equip all of these items.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
at
pretty
the
much.
same time, there are other items we just we could have gotten that we haven't. So we went to Zora's Domain earlier on the way to Water Temple, and we could have made a detour to go get like Fora's Wind, but we didn't.
Yep. So there's items we don't have yet. Now I'm going to allude to something here, but just looking at what items I have and how I'm getting them and this and that, an astute viewer could probably at this point begin to understand kind of what's going on here. Maybe. I don't know.
I think I know what's going on, but I'm not quite convinced it's gonna happen.
I think you're going to be close, but not quite there. Okay, use the bottle again there. Got some bugs.
Now that is a classic bottled item. Oh no.
Yeah, we are going to watch this.
I'm a little surprised to see this when I'm seeing it. Although I guess it makes sense, actually. Actually, yeah, it makes sense.
No, this is good. This is good. Okay. This is I'm going to be honest. You got a really long bathroom break right now because I'm not going to spoil what happens after this cutscene ends, but it's not much better.
Oh no.
It's not much better.
I'm worried.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I am actually going to take a bathroom break right now. So I'm going to be back in 2 minutes.
I think I know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to say anything.
So how is Ben doing? What do you guys think?
Yeah, now that Ben's not here, how would you guys rate what you've seen so far?
We won't tell him. It's totally anonymous. Just put it in chat with your username and timestamp.
Rue, there was that guano walk earlier.
How many more pauses? Like, any good guesses?
Yeah, so before this LOTAD started, my guess for the number of pauses was 2. I don't know if that's actually correct or not. Oh, also, interestingly, Link had the Kokiri sword equipped in that cutscene.
That's very astute of you.
Yeah, so during this cutscene, the game actually does set Link back to the child age. During that one part of the cutscene that's supposed to be a flashback, and then turns him back into adult Link for the rest of this cutscene. And you may have noticed that during that time, the equips on the gear menu shifted over. At least the sword did.
So Ben did not put any strange items on his B button before watching this cutscene, so there will not be any BA related side effects of watching this.
Hey, I'm back.
Unfortunately.
What'd I miss?
So I noticed that Link had the Kokiri sword equipped in the child portion of the cutscene.
That
was interesting.
Well, yeah. So it did switch over. So the Kokiri sword was equipped, but I don't actually have the Kokiri sword. Sort of. Okay.
Oh, we're going back. Oh, right, we have to skip this
Oh,
cutscene first.
you missed.
Yeah, oops.
Desync?
Mods?
Okay, never mind, we're not going back. I was wrong.
Okay, so after you beat the Forest Temple, not after you get the Forest down, but after you beat the Forest Temple, the cutscene trigger for the Prelude of Light is in that room of Temple of Time. So if I fall out of bounds after I start the cutscene, I will get the song and skip the cutscene. So now I can go back to the Temple of Time whenever I want without pausing, which is great.
I don't like the angle of where you're going.
I'm so
It
excited.
scares me.
I
You
don't.
don't like Lon Lon Ranch?
I don't like the implications of this.
Yeah, it's not great.
So, well, actually, I will wait to explain until I am sure that we're doing what I think we're doing, which is not what we're actually doing. Never mind.
I don't know what you thought we were doing.
Well, we were still in Epona, is what we are doing.
Yeah, we are stealing Epona, so you can do a little clip into that bench there, which allows you to get up on top of the house, and then you can roll out of bounds, get the horse. Great.
I think that horse push people were thinking of also requires a pause. So
I believe it requires, in this game, only one pause, actually. But okay, so
Oh boy.
we're gonna start doing some bottle stuff. So this works very similarly to what the way bottle duping works on Ocarina of Time, but right there, what I did was I used 2 bombs to basically get recoil, and there's a 1-frame window in there where I can hit basically any of my equipped items, including swords, and dupe over them with a bottle. So what I did right there was I actually just duped over the Deku Nuts so that I have some, so I can keep the bugs in the Deku Nut bottle, and then I can get a big Poe in the Poe bottle on my Y button. So now I have
I'm
2
so
bottles.
glad it's on the Y button right now.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh,
No!
no.
Oh no! No!
Alright, who remembers where all the big Poes are?
Where are the big Poes? How many bottles do we have that can get big Poes? Oh, it's only 1? Oh, no. Oh, no. I hope you love horseback riding. Because you got
I really
a
thought
couple
for a
couple
second that
minutes of
maybe
it.
you had a way to do it, to do the dupes. But
No. So there is a way to
unfortunate.
dupe big Poes on 3DS, but it does
You
require
require a pause, right?
No, not necessarily. What each dupe does require is to have a bottle duped over Deku sticks equipped on your Y button, which does require
Right.
having Deku sticks equipped, and equipping Deku sticks requires, as adult, requires duping a bottle over Deku sticks, which requires first having a bottle equipped to do the dupe. So there's no way to equip a Deku stick as adult in bottle form without pausing twice.
Yeah, so basically it's just gonna take a while to get all of the big Poes using only a single bottle, because there are 10 big Poes total. and they are just going to get increasingly further and further away in
Yep.
Hyrule Field.
They're not very good. And my horseback riding is not optimal. So don't make fun of me. It's pretty good. I prevented Epona from doing the neighing thing when you stop her every single time. All 20 times. So that's good. Yeah.
Did you
I hope you guys like this.
did you consider just like hessing for this and just getting random big pose? And if that would be faster and worth your time to do it?
So I think once you get a big Poe from a location, a big Poe no longer spawns there. Not even randomly.
Oh yeah, just like you'd still have to go to the 10 different spots.
Oh. No, I didn't consider that, actually. Probably would have been good. I don't know. You'd have to get them all with the hook shot, though. It'd probably be a pain in the ass. But,
Isn't-
yeah, I guess you could do it.
Isn't riding
Oh,
Epona
true.
roughly the same speed as hessing, though?
Yeah,
I don't know. Also, wait.
that's
I'm
true.
pretty
I
sure
forgot you wouldn't have the bow to shoot them.
I did play around with getting Poes with Hessing for other reasons. I wanted to basically see, like, if you could get it without Epona for something else. But I don't think you can Hess into a big Poe trigger and have it spawn. I think you need to be facing forward for some reason through the trigger. Maybe there's a way around that, but I was not able to.
Don't they always spawn like where the camera is facing?
First off that, but I couldn't even get it to spawn. I think ESSing through a Poe trigger does not actually spawn the Poe. I think that's what it was. I don't remember. This was a couple months back when I was looking into this. It was kind of like at the start of this project. And I didn't have a whole lot of luck with it. Yeah, so watching the lighter cutscene did equip the Kokiri sword. Well, the Kokiri sword slot, but only for the portion of the cutscene where Link is a child. And then as soon as Link went back to being an adult, it equipped the Master Sword again. So we did have Kokiri sword for a second, or at least we had the slot equipped.
This is peak content right here, by the way.
This is really good.
We should read some
there's
Sonic High
also-
School.
Oh my god.
Going from like Twin Rova beating Spirit into Light Arrow cutscene into this is absolute cinema.
It's really good, guys. There's one other thing about this that makes it even worse. But I don't want to spoil that yet, because it spoils some other thing.
You do realize that you already have a bottle, right?
I do already have a bottle, yeah. if you look
Yeah,
at my child equips, I actually have 3 of them right now. One of them is Deku Nuts, but yeah. Is anyone counting?
I
No.
think this is
This
7.
is
This is
can't
only
see
7?
for- You can see the text that shows you how many points you have for like 2 frames when you talk to the Poe guy. So if we look really closely, we might be able to see how far along we are.
I think we have a 6 or 7 big pose.
You read that in the chat.
I did not.
Well, I hate both of you. All right, I couldn't read that. It was too fast. We're more than halfway done. Okay.
That is true. More than halfway. Yeah.
God, everyone's so impatient these days. That doesn't we used to live for something.
Should I get some Subway Surfers in the top
Yeah.
right view?
Now it's all just SRM and charge their phone.
I mean, we could watch the video at 2 times speed.
No, I want people to suffer.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Balloons tower defense was shitting Mario.
Oh, you got a big Poe, but now you're not a. Are you going a different way to get back?
Probably faster.
Yeah,
to
just
go
so I don't
this
have to
way.
turn around.
Yeah, then turning.
Yeah, just because you don't
around.
have to. You don't have to turn around. It's like the same distance, basically.
Oh, to build on the idea Chandler had earlier, could you like ride Epona to a big Poe and then like Hess back, and then after turning in the Poe, Hess to Epona, and then just ride Epona to the next one?
Yeah, I guess you could. It might be
I
a
don't
little faster. I didn't want to spend time optimizing this. It's paid.
I think that was 8.
I think
Yeah,
that was
I
8.
think that was 8. 2
You
more.
have like the far one in front of Lake Hylia? Isn't there one there? And then
There's the one in front of Kakariko Village.
yeah, I don't think
and
you've
then
got the
there's
one in front of CAC.
And then yeah, there's the one over by the forest,
Yeah.
next to the rock. Those are the last 2. This is peak. We're almost done. We're almost done.
The things we
This-
do.
is this what they
not
call-
pause.
This is what we call raw dogging pose.
Doing
Huh?
all the pose with 1 bottle.
Yeah, doing all the pose
Uh.
with 1 bottle and without blinking in 1 sitting.
Wait, you guys haven't been blinking?
I haven't.
I don't want to
blinked
miss
for-
anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if you blink, you'll miss something.
But it's, I mean, there's a lot going on right now. All right. We're moving. Okay. Now, the good thing is that I'm not actually going to get all the poses right this second. We're going to save one. Or maybe we won't. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just did that to mess
We
with you.
just got all that. We just got 9 pose, because why not?
Gets 9 pose, leaves the last one, refuses to elaborate.
Didn't miss this time.
Okay. Didn't miss. So now that I have the Prelude of Flight, I can go back and forth between child and adult. It's pretty good. Okay. And now you'll see once again that the gear menu has switched over. So I do have the Kokiri sword slot now equipped. So even though I don't have the Kokiri sword, there's a really weird thing that happens where if you're an adult and you go back to child, the game will always equip the Kokiri sword, even if you don't have it. So I don't have the Kokiri sword right now, but I can actually use it, which is really good. Okay, I'm gonna make a quick stop in here and just buy a lot of Degu sticks. We're gonna need them. Maybe. I don't know. Will we? I don't have Deku Sticks equipped. A potential second pause incoming? Who knows?
A second pause would be wild.
Hmm.
That would double our current number
Yeah.
of pauses.
Yeah, Young Link teleporting 20 feet away. So we do need to play the prelude, like, or some warp song to be able to escape the room of Temple in Time where the Master Sword is. There are several clips on the N64 version. The layout of that room is a little different. The pillars are a different shape, so you can clip out of them pretty easily on N64. Not the case on 3DS. If they were the same shape, it would probably be pretty easy to clip out with the triple slash clip.
Hey, speaking of triple slash clip,
Yeah, those triple slash clip.
True. Good timing.
I
But
think the first
desync?
one. No desync. Just waiting for the Cucko. So we can use the Cucko to fly
Get
into the bottom of the
past
well.
The 9 to 5 rock.
But wait a minute. Bottom of the well, that's not one of the dungeons we have to complete for all dungeons, correct? Pretty sure it's just the ones with blue orb. So what are we doing here?
I mean, considering that we just collected 9 pose for no reason, I think you just wanted to go here.
I think I'm just messing with everyone at this point. So there's a really good reason why I decided to come to the bottom of the well now as opposed to going to the bottom of the well earlier. And that main reason is that now Link has the Kokiri sword, as you can see in his hand, which is pretty good. Basically, I get a free Kokiri sword without ever having to pause as child. Now, it is actually possible to enter the bottom of the well without pausing. I'm not going to tell you how, because it might come up in something else I work on, but I did find a really dumb way to do it. Although I did use the Kokiri sword, the triple slash clip. There is a way to do it, but there's no way to fight Dead Hand without some sort of damage source equipped as child, so I did need to go adult and then come back, and I am going to get the Lens of Truth. Clearly for something important. I'm definitely going to be equipping that later.
my theory is... I have a theory. It's the same theory as before, and I will not elaborate. Sorry, I'm vague posting right now, but you know.
It'll all become clear soon. A lot of people are guessing Bottle Adventure. So Bottle Adventure is a really neat glitch where you can get items on the B button as adult. So it's basically you can the value of your 2 button as child correlates after you do some glitches to the value of your B button as adult. Now, spoilers, you do need to equip something on your 2 button as child to make that work, to manipulate that value. So, potential second pause incoming?
Well, you're not a child right now, so...
I certainly am not.
Nothing on Child 2, and those
I will-
Deku sticks haven't been used yet.
I will explain a little bit of my vague posting, but my theory does not involve BA. So,
Yeah, it's a good theory, a game theory.
although I am not sure why you're going to Fire Temple right now.
Because I have something I
Fire
need to do
Temple
really
boss
quick.
key, of course.
I gotta do something real quick. I actually, when I was testing this,
Okay, actually, this makes a little bit of sense.
I did a bunch of stuff, and then I was like, oh no, I really needed to get the Fire Temple boss key earlier. Now, because you get
I see.
essentially because you get stuck in this room, you would need to warp out or death warp anyways. So no matter, I can basically get the Fire Temple boss key whenever I want, because Well, eventually it'll be really annoying to get the Fire Temple boss key for specific reasons, but I can pretty much get it whenever I want because I need to warp out anyways. So yeah, now is as good a time to get it as any. All right, where am I going now?
We're going to the Lost Woods. Are we going to... Yeah, like Ice Cavern next, potentially?
Ice Cavern. That's another dungeon that I don't need to complete all of the dungeons. Why would I go there?
There are some items near another item near the Ice Cavern as well.
Yeah, but I'm not. This isn't 100%. I'm not trying to collect all the items. I'm trying to beat all the dungeons. I'm only getting all these items because I'm going to use them. Potential 5th pause incoming?
You've got, wait, how many items? You have 16 items that have not been equipped yet. So you're going to have to pause at least 4 more times
Yep.
to make use of all those items you picked up.
And that's just as adult.
Well, no, there's only 12 items that haven't been equipped. Because the other 4
Oh yeah, I was
equipped.
just looking at the child inventory menu. Yeah, you're
Yep.
right.
Okay.
Hey, you know what else is in Zora's Fountain? Oh, there's an
that?
Ice Cavern. Well, there's another dungeon here, but it looks like we are in fact going to Ice Cavern.
We are, Jim. You did get it right. I will have more to say about this Ice Cavern trip towards the end of this. But for now, I will say that Ice Cavern is very cool, and I like it. And it was very fun to task through.
It is very cold here, that's true.
Hopefully it's not so cold that it freezes.
Oh, that's a great video. All right. Having a bottle equipped? Pretty good.
What happened to your big Poe?
Oh, I never had any big pose. Yeah, I got rid of
Did
all
you?
of them.
Oh, you turned the last one in and then left.
Right. There is
You just
one.
never got the last one. Okay, I
Yeah,
misremembered.
the last one's still out there.
I thought you like collected a big Poe and then just like duped over it without turning it in.
No, there's one big
forgot you
pose that's
turned it in.
still at large. Okay.
Nice funny ice
Doing
jumps,
some-
by the way.
We're doing some funny ice jumps today.
Yeah, unlike N64,
yeah.
You cannot just jump slash into this ice to get the rupee.
You cannot. There is a way to get that. That's not too difficult though, without a bottle. And I could do it with the items that I have right now. It's just not faster. You can do a. If you push the block in this room over to that ledge, you can do ledge cancel to get it. Okay, we're sliding through the ice.
Dog.
Dog. Beans.
Alright, we've defeated one White Wolfos, and we can get a second one to mark off the bingo square eventually.
Oh, whoa, careful.
Exactly.
Your health is really... Okay, good. You
Oh,
opened the chest in
no.
time.
Dog
Oh.
sacrificed. So that right there, you have one frame to open that chest to skip the Serenade of Water cutscene. So we got the Serenade now. Got a lot of songs, actually, when you think about it.
I'm thinking about it. Actually, no, I'm not.
Yeah, you have
I
like
take that back.
all the warp songs except for Nocturne.
Yep. I don't have a lot of time to think about it when I'm rotating cubes in my head full time.
Oh my god, we're finally gonna go get Ferrari's wind.
Yes.
This is gonna be so useful. I'm excited.
We got some good items.
We don't have to do the seam hover for Fur's win because we have bombs.
Yep.
I would love chat's suspicion here that this is secretly 100% to like come true.
That would be awesome.
Even though you haven't picked up any Skulltulas at any
Or
point.
heart
Or hearts.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Gotta save that all for the end. That would be insane for the plot. Okay. We got Fur's wind.
Into Jabu Jabu we go.
Yep. Just zip right in.
Much easier
So,
on 3D.
They changed where that loading zone is, so you can very easily just kind of touch it. Accidentally, even. All right, we're gonna go do Jabu. Unfortunately, as is the case with most OOT categories, there isn't really a way to skip these parts of Jabu Jabu's belly. It's tragic, but necessary.
So shoutouts to GameStabled for decompiling the Shabombs.
Yep. Big
True.
Shabam guy right
Shabam
here.
guy.
GameStabled is the certified Shabam expert, knows all about Shabombs.
They've got some cool unused behavior.
Yeah, let's hear about it. We got like a 1 minute before anything interesting happens.
I don't remember. I'm a fraud. They,
I mean, that
they,
would-
they have like unused code to like regrow after you pop them.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, because
Um,
you decomped them like, what, 7 years ago at this point?
Yeah, I was probably in 2020.
So this is probably as good a time as any to kind of start alluding to what's going on here before it actually happens. But if you do look at my inventory right now, especially the child items, it's getting pretty crowded up there.
I'd say it's getting a little stuffed.
It's getting, yeah, a little bit. So, what does happen when you get too many items in this game? Stay tuned. And I said this earlier, if you're a savvy viewer, you might notice kind of when I get new items, what is happening to them in the menu. The way that they're placed and ordered is very important. So here, I put bottle on my B button by doing action swap right there. So now I have a bottle on my B button. And now I'm going to do another bottle dupe to dupe over the hook shot, which gives me the ice arrows, or no, sorry. So I RBA'd the hook shot, which gives me the ice arrow slot, and then I duped over the hook shot, and then I RBA'd the bottle on my 2 button to give me another bottle in my inventory, and now I'm all out of inventory slots. So when I pick up the boomerang, you might notice something very crucial in the top right corner of the screen.
That's what the beans are for. Oh my god. Just being an item.
Just taking up space, pretty much, as they were always intended. So that's kind of the crux of this whole route. That's what we've been alluding to this whole time. That's why we got Neighbor's Love. It's because we're essentially doing something here called, it's not really inventory overstuffing in a traditional sense, which is the glitch in the game where you can kind of equip items as the wrong age by having like too many items in your inventory. But basically, if you can get more than 20 items, the 21st item that you collect, if you've never equipped anything as that age, will be equipped to a button. And now I can collect my last Poe. Now the reason why I couldn't do all the Poes earlier is because when I RBA'd with the bottle on my 2 button, that gave me bottle number 3 in my inventory. So if I had already had a 3rd real bottle, then doing that RBA would just affect that slot and not actually give me another item. So now I go and I equip, or I finally get the Poe bottle, and now not only do I have a boomerang equipped to the child button on 1, I now have a bottle equipped on the X button. Now, the funny thing that I was alluding to earlier about the Poe collecting is that about a week ago, after I had finished this, I've had this finished for a little bit now, I did realize that it was actually possible to collect Din's Fire without doing a pause, which means that technically, if I redid pretty much this whole thing, it would be possible to skip the Poe hunting by getting Din's Fire instead. So
Well,
I
that would be
apologize for
boring.
putting everyone through that. That would be boring. I also later did realize, and this was just silly on my part, it would technically be possible to skip Ice Cavern. Because if you put, when I do eventually dupe a bottle over my hookshot slot, I could catch a fairy in that bottle and RBA that to fill the Iron Boot slot to basically take up a slot in my inventory. I didn't think about that, and honestly, Ice Cavern's sick. And it's not even that much slower because having Serenade of Water right here to quickly get back to Zora's Domain is pretty nice. But
I
it
like
technically
seeing
would have
Ice
been a little
Cavern.
faster.
Also, Ice Cavern is sick anyway, so.
Ice Cavern's so sick. Well, the issue with ice arrows is they don't actually take up a slot in the inventory. But if you RBA the hookshot, they do take up their own little slot, but it's unused. It's not something you would ever see without glitches. So just getting the ice arrows on their own doesn't actually fill a slot.
Just like light arrows doesn't. Like you can actually, if you look at the bow carefully in the inventory screen, you can see the little the light arrows
Right.
effect is there. And ice arrows would be the same if he had not RBA'd the hook shot earlier.
So yeah, and then the other thing was I did need to get the bottle here because the only way to enter Jabu without a bottle is with the Deku stick that I know of. I was trying to find a way to enter Jabu without using any items. However, I was not able to find a way to do it. So here's something kind of new, something a little cute.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can use an invisible seam right there to skip. So I don't have a shield, obviously, so I can't do a mega flip to skip that gap. Now, I could just use the boomerang to go fight the big Octo, but that is way faster to do that. For my testing, that seam hover was really annoying, so it's probably RTA viable, but it kind of sucks.
I mean, I don't know if
Loud and glitchless IMO.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, actually.
Are there many situations where you would be in Jabu without a shield? RTA?
Probably not. Maybe for like all dungeons, I don't know. So now that I have the boomerang equipped, that was the hard part, actually using it to fight the boss. Not bad. Now because I don't have Deku Nuts, I did have to hit the jellyfish pretty slowly. So this last phase, you actually have to wait a while if you kill the beery or the berries. You have to wait a while if you don't kill them fast enough for Baronade to be able to be damaged.
I guess going back to the overstuffing shenanigans to equip the boomerang, the astute viewer might be wondering, well, if the boomerang would be automatically equipped if you didn't have enough room in the inventory, why couldn't we have just made that happen as adult? Well, there's 2 reasons for that in this run. One is since we have items equipped as adult, we would need to collect even more items or do another pause to like unequip those items and put them back in the inventory.
Right.
So that wouldn't work. The other reason is that if you overstuff an item that is not supposed to be equipped as that age, then the game will attempt to force unequip it when you like reload the area. So in this case, like going from Jabu to like the Jabu boss, it would unequip the boomerang if possible. It is possible to get around that, but it requires getting even more items.
Yes.
So that's why we had to only have it auto-equip as child and then go back to child.
Exactly. And then the other really well, the other implication of that is I've kind of been thinking about, and I haven't figured out a way to do this yet, but technically, if you could get enough items pauseless, then it would be possible to start doing equips without ever collecting, without ever pausing the game. So there is a world where we could find enough ways to collect enough items pauseless to probably not all dungeons, because I don't see a way of ever getting around that.
I don't think you can do that because some of the items, like the only reason you're able to get more than the items you need to like fully overstuff is with getting like the glitched like ice arrow and like other arrow type items, right?
There are 22 intended items in your slot.
Yes, but
22.
The auto equipping will equip items like 1x, y2, right?
Yes.
So you couldn't ever have something equipped on 2 to do RBA and get like
I don't think
the
so.
additional glitched items.
Yeah, I don't think so. But you could at least get 1 or 2 items equipped.
Yes.
You could. Yeah, if you could do enough. So one thing you probably didn't notice is that I did go adult. I had a bottle on my B button when I turned child, and then when I turned adult, I actually did do the glitch known as bottle adventure. So I had a bottle on my B button as adult before I turned child, and then when I came back, I had a blank button on the 2 button. And having a blank button actually points to some unused dungeon flags. So they're all zeroed out. So I currently actually have item 0 on my B button. So I don't have a Master Sword equipped right now. I have item 0. And what is item 0? Item 0 is a Deku Stick. So right now I have Deku Stick on B.
I thought it was the Hylian shield.
You didn't really think this through because you kind of need the hammer, so you should have BA'd the hammer. I mean, you're at the boss that needs the hammer. So, I mean, dead run.
BA-ing Deku Stick is actually so funny.
Right. Now, because you never equip a sword, BA is or like doing one on stick and stuff like that is scuffed. Because if you ever like ride a horse or die or like all this other stuff, it's super messed up, and you just like lose your Deku stick. So the BA makes it way better. So yeah, I did just BA Deku stick, which is kind of stupid, but.
Nice fess.
Okay. There it is. So yeah, right there, I did do a glitch known as quick put away, where basically I had a Deku stick out and I took damage on the same frame that I tried to put that Deku stick away. And so when I do a jump slash at a specific point, what happens is the game puts the stick out of my hand while the hitbox is still out, I believe, which causes the game basically checks what's in your hand to see what damage type it needs to do. But because the stick is no longer in Link's hand, it just reads some garbage data for what damage values it needs to assign to the attack. And one of those garbage data values just happens to correlate with the Megaton Hammer. And so, yeah, you can kill Bavaggio with the Deku stick.
Also, when you pull out a Deku stick as Adult Link in OoT3D, it uses the Hylian shield model. Like visually,
Do we
it
know
looks
why?
like Link is swinging a Hylian shield. I would assume it just
Does
has
anyone know
something to
why?
do with like how the modeled indices are assigned or something.
It's gotta be. But yeah, that's the last dungeon. So now we only have one more thing we need to do, and that is we gotta beat the video game.
I'm starting to feel like my guess of there being 2 pauses might be is not looking good.
Well, we do still need to beat the game, and there's still some pretty hard roadblocks. So one of the best ways to beat this game, and the all dungeons definition does not require you to beat Ganon. So you could either wrong warp to, I'm sorry, it doesn't require you to beat Ganon or Ganondorf. So you could theoretically wrong warp to the credits using Ferrar's Win, but that would require pausing. And we could beat Ganondorf, but that would require equipping the light arrows. I think there's also one other way that we could get to the end credits, but that would require using, I think, a trade item in a blue warp. And one, we don't have any more blue warps to use, so I'm clearly not doing that. And two, I would need to equip a trade item to go far enough in the trade quest to get the timer. So probably not doing that. So, not sure how I'm going to beat the game without pausing again.
Did pick up those light arrows earlier, so
I did.
you could just
I
equip
did pick
them.
up those light arrows. I could just equip them, but that would not be good for the pause count. Now, one good thing about having light arrows is it does cause this cutscene right here to play. The requirement for this cutscene is having the Shadow and Spirit Medallion and having the light arrows in your inventory. So, not sure how we would get into this dungeon without the light arrows. So yeah. Okay. This took a really long time to figure out how the hell it worked, because it's really precise, but you can do a trial skip with just a Mega Flip. Very precise.
That's one light arrow requirement. Well, 6 light arrow requirements. Nice.
Yeah, that was a cute fight. I like that. I actually did that fight way slower, and then I got a desync, and I had to go back and do it again. And then I got that pattern, and I'm like, oh, that's so sick. So I'm really happy I got that desync.
Yeah, using the Deku sticks, Ben's also activated what's known as broken Deku stick glitch, which allows you to use a single Deku stick just repeatedly, as long as you have it out still, and still have at least one Deku stick in your inventory. So
Exactly. Oh yeah, and I don't have a Deku stick count out right now. But I did make sure to have just enough Deku sticks to do what I need to do for the rest of this run.
And the damage value of the Deku stick is actually different compared to N64. On N64, the Deku stick regular slash does 2 damage and the jump slash does 4 damage, but in 3D they actually nerfed it, and so the jump attack for the Deku stick only does 2 damage, so you don't get any additional attack power by doing a Deku stick jump slash in 3D.
Yeah, so they're pretty weak in this game, but don't have a sword. And I can't exactly... So, first off, you can't pause in this game if you have something other than a sword on your B button to re-equip a sword. Once you have something on your B button, the only way to get rid of it is to equip a different sword and then re-equip the sword that you want. Which would require, like, getting the Giant's Knife, and also it require a pause anyways, so probably don't want to do that.
I remember at one point there was a time where you thought you were going to have to get Giant's Knife for this run to work because of that type of stuff.
I did think I was going to need to do that, but I found a way around that. And it's, yeah, because of a bunch of, like, temporary B nonsense and, like, Lon stick, unequipping the Deku stick, and, like, stupid scenarios, and yeah. But I eventually found ways around that.
So it looks like we are going to be beating Ganondorf here. Just an assumption.
No, we're just watching this cutscene, and then we're gonna leave.
Yeah. So there is one really important thing that I mentioned, like, within the first 2 minutes of this run, that I never did explain. And that is, why the hell am I playing the Taiwanese version of this game? And the reason is because... That's so sick.
That right there.
Is because of that. Because when they changed a little bit of the code to do this and that and patch this, when they compiled it, things are in different regions in the code. And so the garbage data that it checks for when you're doing quick put away, you know, what damage values get used, are actually different in this version of the game compared to the first release in Europe, North America, and Japan. And so it actually does way more damage types, like bomb damage, light arrow damage, I think boomerang damage. It does a lot of really wacky stuff. So yeah, we can beat Ganondorf without the light arrows.
If it can do boomerang damage, does that just not work to fight Baronade?
It doesn't, because
Baronade, you also have to throw the boomerang up at the tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't
would
hover.
cut the tentacles if you could hit them.
Right.
Yeah, the tentacles aren't like... You can't break your Deku stick on the tentacles. So what you could do is, if somehow you could break... The only thing you can break your Deku stick on in that room that I found, because I did mess with this, was the pots. So if you could somehow jump slash the pot and then teleport up to where the tentacle is on, like, one frame, then you could do it. But good luck.
You also, so far, no one has discovered a way to quite hit the light beam things at the end of the trials with the jump slash. You can't quite get high enough. But
Not quite.
in theory, if you could hit those, you could skip light arrows in MST.
Theoretically, I haven't found a way. I've had some theories on how you can do it.
It would
Yeah,
still be
so-
slower than just playing on the English version because of wrong warping and stuff. You know.
But for, like, a low pause MST, it'd be good. I did find, I don't think it's actually possible, but if you get ISG with QPA damage, oh yeah, also kiss. I didn't think it was possible. It is. It's just float perfect.
Yep.
No way.
That's what made me think about how I could get Din's Fire as child without pausing, because I was like, I bet you could do the kiss here. I bet it's just like really, really precise. And I cheated the position for it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's possible. And I was like, if I'm off by like 1 hex value, does it work? Sure doesn't. And I'm like, I bet you could get into other cylinders with this. And yeah, that's why I thought of that. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. I was able to do, if you can do ISG with the QPA damage values, which might be possible. I've been thinking about it. It might be possible to do it. You still do QPA damage with the Deku Stick in your hand, and since you hold the Deku Stick up, you can't actually hit the light beam, but it will require you to get ISG in every single room in a very specific way. Which would require a heart to be in every single room, and I think only 3 of those rooms have hearts in them. So even if you could do it, I don't think you could do it in every room.
You could do, there's the whole like piece of heart storage, like text storage thing to give yourself
Which requires-
ISG, but that
requires
does require a
pausing.
pause.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thought, though. So at this point, second pause incoming.
Are you gonna shoot a light arrow at Ganondorf?
Yeah,
Or Ganon?
at Ganon's head.
Yeah.
To stun it. Yeah. So the only require for Ganon here is you need any item that can deal damage. So Deku Nuts are good.
It's pretty amazing. Like when we first started talking about this, I think our initial count was 3 pause is easy.
Yeah.
1 for Mirror Shield, 1 for Boomerang, and 1 for something to let you get the Boomerang. And it's pretty amazing that it's down to just 1 for Mirror Shield.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, when the idea popped into my head about the inventory overflow, like overstuffing stuff, I was like, I have to make this. This is way too cool. Because it's pretty much just do 1 pause and then get all of the items.
Yeah.
And I really wanted an excuse to play the Taiwanese version. I was just like, this is gonna be sick. Now, once again, theoretically, I haven't figured this out yet. I'm still working on a couple things. A 0 pause any percent, I think could theoretically be possible, but I would need to find a way to get 1 or 2 more items without pausing ever. I'm still working on it. Haven't figured it out yet.
That is...
GG.
Yeah.
GG.
That's it.
GG's. 1 pause, all dungeons in 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 54 seconds.
Crazy. Like, amazing that it's 1 pause. You did a good job with this, Ben. Also making it so quickly.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Making it in
It was-
only a couple weeks.
Pretty low optimization, but the cool thing here, I don't really think is the execution. I think it's really just the concept that this is possible. Most of the run is like not actually like super duper interesting. If you don't know what's going on, it's the intrigue of like, why are we getting these items? Like, we're not going to equip all this stuff. It's sick. I love it.
Yeah, I like seeing chat's theories about like, oh, it must be a BA thing. It must be, you know,
Blue fire
whatever
200
else we're
times,
saying.
whatever that was.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
you're unloading.
I did see one person in the chat did guess kind of what was going on like 3 minutes before it happened. And I was like, okay, someone finally got it.
It's
Yeah,
cool
I
to watch
think,
the inventory slowly fill up and see, like, you can see it coming eventually.
Yeah, you start to ask the question in your head. That's the other reason why I kind of like it, is like you start to see it happening and you're like, man, what is gonna happen if he keeps getting items? Like, that's so cool. And I think I spent a lot of extra time like putting up the visualizer in the corner. But I think it does a really good job of like showing visually what's going on and why it works.
It definitely improved my viewing experience.
I was not entirely surprised that it ended up just being overstuffing. My big theory was that it was somehow going to involve like swapping the like place you had equipped items like between child and adult.
Right.
So
that'd be cool.
I noticed that like when you got Neighbor's Love in the adult slot is like the same place in the grid as Hammer is his child. So like I was thinking about some weird thing with that, and like because I know there's some weird things you can do if you do back in time where you can then like equip the mirror shield as child. But it's like weird,
back in
and
time requires a lot of pausing.
yeah.
And you have to have already equipped it as adult. Anyway.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think, like I was saying, I think any percent zero pause would be possible if you could just equip one item. You would only need one item. And I think right now the only items I have not found a way to get without pausing are the Lens of Truth, the Talon bottle, the Poe bottle, and the bow. I think I can get everything else without pausing. So in theory, if you were able to get like 3 of those 4 items, I think it'd be possible. But good luck.
I'm surprised you can't get Lens. Oh, I guess because you have to beat Fire Temple or Forest Temple to get Kokiri Sword. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to beat Dead Hand without some source of damage, which I have not found a way to be able to do. Or maybe some way to get there as adult, like also potentially, but once again, good luck with that. So that one's tough. Poe bottle is tough because you can't give the Poes to the guy. Like you could get a Poe, but good luck giving them to the guy. And then Talon bottle sucks because you can't actually get that until you wake Talon with
the chicken.
The Cuckoo. Yeah, which requires equipping that. So those are kind of the hard blocks right now. But if we found ways, and bow sucks because I don't know how you would get into Forest Temple without the hook shot. I have not thought of a way that is possible. In theory, if you could do a void warp with the Minuet of Forest from high enough up, then you could probably void warp into the Forest Temple. I mean, there's potential for that.
I have an idea. I'll DM you.
You have an idea? Okay, all right.
In case it's a spoiler.
Okay, I like that.
Spoiler for the next load.
But basically, the problem behind from what I've seen for like an any percent zero pause is I don't think there's actually, because the only thing you really need is a Deku stick on your B button, which is pretty easy to do as adult. Because if you have a Deku stick on your B button, oh, and you also, no, you do need an item to reflect the ball from Ganondorf. But yeah, if you could get there with one item,
doesn't Ganondorf eventually do the attack where he charges everything up that you don't have to reflect?
I thought about that, but he doesn't start doing that attack until you've dealt some amount of damage.
Oh, I see.
Is my understanding. I ran around that room for like 5 minutes and he didn't do it once until I started attacking him. So crazy shit.
He does it after
right.
6 hours if you just wait. Trust.
Okay.
It doesn't
I'll be
work
sure to
if you
test
use
that out.
speed up, so you have to like wait 6 hours.
But I got ideas for that. I don't know. Maybe one day you'll have a zero pause, and those people who are here, you get the sneak peek. You know what it's gonna be early. But that would be a really cool concept for a zero pause 90%, where it's like, yeah, basically go play most of the game, so that you can get past one stupid thing. And we get to watch normal credits, unlike most categories where the credits are messed up because you wrong work into them.
Not that messed
True.
up, but
Pretty messed up.
You love to see Ganondorf and Iron Boots and Lens of Truth all in all dungeons run.
It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Neighbor's Love.
the light arrows.
Yeah, the only reason I got the light arrows, you could have gotten around that cutscene by just doing Spirit Temple later, but the only reason why I did it was because I needed the bridge to get into the Ganon's castle.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't found a way to get around that yet.
I know that
There's an
they're-
invisible seam.
Right, there are some seams
That-
there, but I don't know if they're ones that can actually be climbed or not.
They are shockingly close to making it.
You can also
probably.
you obviously didn't have hover boots equipped, but it's trivial to get in with hover boots.
It's kind of also incredible, like that in the low pause, like this is basically the equip as few items as you can category, and it requires you to get as many items as possible. It's like very ironic in that way.
And of course, we got double credits in this game. Very cool. I love messing around with like the assets for this game, and I couldn't actually figure out how to do it, and I wouldn't have done it anyways, but I was really trying for a long time, and for when I say a long time, for like 2 days, to swap out the pictures in the second end credits for something else. And then I got bored, but there's a really good picture of a game stable and a nuppers in a bathtub at a GDQ with a microwave, I believe. Really wanted to get that in the end credits for like a day, and I went, this is boring. Oh, so one really annoying thing that I had thought about was you could actually get one of those 2 bottle slots that you can't get with Gim. If you could Gim the... I think it should be possible to Gim the Water Temple Boss Key chest, which would give you a bottle slot. The only issue is that I think in order for the route that I'm thinking of to work, you would need to use the Taiwanese version, and Boss Key chests do not give you a bottle and the Taiwanese version when you Gim Boss Key chests, because Gim values are different in that version for a similar reason why QPA is different. It's just pointing to different data. So kind of annoying. Gim stands for Get Item Manipulation. It's basically a trick that you can use to manipulate the item that you obtain when you delay collecting an item. So you can get like seemingly random items just from like doing a glitch and then standing in front of chests. But it's not random, it's very deterministic. Oh, well, I hope people enjoyed watching. It was really fun to make this, and it was really cool to route it. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, no, this was awesome to watch. Thanks for putting in the effort for it, and also making the really cool visualization aids to go along with the inventories and also the out-of-bounds segments. Shoutouts to NoClip once again.
Yeah, shoutouts to NoClip and Jasper. And if anyone wants to fool around with that tool I made, it's not like the most intuitive thing ever, but you know, hit me up. I got stuff.
This was cool. Thanks for inviting me to join for the reveal stream.
Yeah, commentators, thanks for hopping on and talking about stuff we all love about. And Jim, thanks for the restream, or the stream, not the restream. It was awesome.
Yeah, no problem. And for those who may have not watched or who were not able to catch the whole thing, the task will be up on Ben's YouTube channel. I assume at some point later, like at worst in the next couple of days or whenever.
Yeah, I will, as soon as you give me the commentary for this, I will start rendering the version with the commentary. I will put the no commentary version up here in the next couple of minutes.
Yep, so I think it's also Ben Stevens 56 on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find me there.
No more Ben Stevens 1000.
It might be. I don't know. I don't know how you get it.
One of those
YouTube,
two.
it's on there somewhere. You'll find me.
Yeah. Anyone have any last words?
No. I've said everything I need to say and then some, because we had plenty of time to talk during the pose.
We did. But yeah.
So okay, cool.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and maybe there will be more OoT3D LOTADs in the future. Stay tuned.